Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
It is going. I'm glad to be here. It's been, as I said, it's been busy getting ready to head back into the semester and whatnot. But it's always fun to sit here, hang out with you, hang out with some of our friends here in the chat, and we got a mighty generous gift to be started to get started tonight, Price. So we should
Okay,
definitely highlight that before we
I am going to go and
move
look
too
at
much
right
further.
now what that gift is because I wouldn't want somebody to send a gift and not. Okay, let me see for a
You'll
second.
never guess who gave all these memberships in the chat on YouTube.
Uh, it is Mary White, and Mary White, she does so much for us. I'm gonna show now what she's done. She's a mod here, and she always helps out with everything, and I'm always grateful for everything that she does. But this is very kind of her, and to do all that and also do this, it's not something that I take for granted. Let me find it and let me share it. Presentation. Okay. So, first of all, she sent 20 Price of Reason Live gift memberships. That is amazing. That is really, really nice. Uh, that's probably, that's on the higher end of what somebody would give, memberships and gifts and things like that. Really, really, really nice. And she's a member herself and a mod. So, thank you. Thank you, Mary. This is very, very, very nice of you. I really appreciate it. Then she gave an additional super chat of $5. She says, I wanted to make up for blocking Price's ads. Have a good night, everyone. And then also that she's been a member for 18 months. This is all wonderful. It's fine if you block the ads. I don't mind. It's okay. That stuff happens sometimes.
Yep.
I mean, sorry, this if somebody from some platform is listening, no, you should never block the ads. Ads are important, and you should never block them.
Never.
Never. And
Why would you think of such a heinous thing to do, to block ads?
before we start diving into the things that we were going to discuss today, did you hear this thing that there's a new movie with Jason Statham, and I actually planned to watch it. Erwin, before I couldn't make his stream today. I wasn't home, and he's like, "I hope you weren't home because you were seeing that Jason Statham movie." Said I actually didn't get a chance to. What turned out though is that I heard that Amazon made a big boo boo. They were supposed to put the trailer for the Jason Statham movie on their platform, saying like, "Oh, coming soon." This is Jason Statham's new movie, and accidentally, whatever intern or whoever works at Amazon, they accidentally uploaded the movie itself, so people without paying could just suddenly go click the button and watch Jason Statham's entire new movie. I don't know how long this was up. I don't know what happened, but then apparently once you do that, that also means that somebody can have a really good digital copy
Mm-hmm.
that they can then watch in India, if you understand.
Yeah, I had heard about this. I guess I had seen on X somewhere somebody had mentioned it. So yeah, I looked into it. Yeah, there was supposed to be what was supposed to be like a teaser trailer that was going to be posted to Amazon Prime to promote Mutiny. That's the name of the new film. And somehow they uploaded the whole movie. They put the
So
file in
dumb.
there for the whole film. Uh, there's one post on X says, "I'm watching Jason Statham's new movie Mutiny streaming on Amazon for free right now." This has to be a huge mistake, right? My theater has showtimes starting this week.
And the thing is, I heard, and I don't know if it's true, that Lionsgate, who they're really counting on this theatrical run.
Yeah.
Uh, they're going to sue. Like they're really livid. You know what I'm saying? Like this, they want to sue Amazon or something. They expect to get compensated for this. I was reading an article. I don't even remember where. I was just doing a million things, and it said that they could demand $50 million or something. I mean, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, if there's one company that could probably shell out that money, it's Amazon. But man, imagine you have an intern that makes such a mistake that you're owing you're in a lawsuit over so many millions of dollars because you couldn't not upload a movie. I mean, how stupid
Hmm.
is that?
Yeah. So yeah, when one of the articles that I was reading, in fact, this is on Deadline. I can share it real quick since we're talking
Yeah, if you
about
can, that's cool.
it.
Do I have to?
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. So it says this is an unprecedented situation. One fuming international buyer told us it's a major F up. I've never been in this situation before. What's clear is that this is a multi-million-dollar problem for Amazon, and buyers will expect a check to be written to help resolve this. One person who worked on the project said, "What the hell? There are serious repercussions for distributors here." Another overseas buyer simply told us, "Oh my God." I mean, seriously, yeah, this was not like this was an Amazon MGM picture, right? This was
Right.
something that they had a streaming distribution deal through like a partnership with Lionsgate. And so, yeah, this isn't just like Amazon thought it would be cute to like put their movie up for free for a day to get some excitement or whatever. This isn't their movie to put up for free. This is someone
Right.
else's movie. So yeah, this is wild. I read about this. I couldn't believe like that is as was said, it's a major F up. That's amazing. I don't know how this happens. I don't know, it's I mean, again, I'm just flabbergasted. I don't know how a mistake of this magnitude happens.
It's a huge blunder. It's like I don't know either. Don't know what to tell you, man. Imagine, I mean, the thing is that if you were gonna end up paying that kind of money, you could have just hired me. Like, you could have given me what I'm trying to say is, you could have given me $1,000,000 and I would have put the correct file in and saved you $49,000,000.
Mhm. Yeah. I yeah. It mentions in here, it's saying this is not the first time a streamer has been in hot water for lax safety, and it mentions, as we've talked about before, this independent film that was being made, Fortitude, where they delivered a copy of the film to Netflix and it was stolen
Yeah,
from their offices. And
there was something
Netflix
like
is
this,
saying,
yeah.
"Oh, you didn't properly encrypt it or something like that." It's like, but you lost it. Like literally, like we delivered it to
Right.
you and you lost it. How can you say it's our fault for not properly encrypting it? Like it was in your possession. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I saw that earlier today. I could not believe that. Um,
It's bonkers.
yeah, wild stuff. We'll have to see where it goes because yeah, Lionsgate is not happy about this situation because yeah,
I
they
would be
were
really
they were
pissed as
depending
well.
on a big weekend for this film, and I will admit I will say like I think in the long run I don't think it costs Lionsgate their entire box office, right? Because most
Right.
people are not going to pirate the film, right? The reality is piracy has a very very minimal effect on the actual sale of a product, right? Because most people aren't willing to go through the hoops to actually engage in the piracy, and the ones that do, many of them were never actually going to buy that product in the first place. Right? They were never actually going to be willing to pay for it one way or another. They were either going to pirate it today or they were going to pirate it tomorrow if they watched it at all, right? They were never actually going to pay for it. There's been research that's been done, regarding this, right? Like my uncle enjoys action movies, goes to the theater watch action movies. He's not going to say, "Oh, well I can see it for free if I go to this sketchy website somewhere and I go download a torrent and then I install torrent software and I download the torrent onto my computer and then I have to, play it in some weird format I've never seen before." He's not going to bother with that. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of research that shows like there is a balance though, right? So there are things that where they've been saying like, well, the more and more streaming services are starting to cost, the more and more piracy is actually happening because people are saying, look, I was never going I'm not going to pay that money, right?
True.
You keep raising the amount, Netflix costs, you know, by the end of the year ends up costing $40 a month or something to have their premium, top of the line, whatever. And the people are just going to say no. There's going to be a lot of people who are just going to, walk away, or they're going to, go down to the $7.99, whatever. And the uh, reality is that, yeah, there's going to be more people at some point that are not going to be willing to pay for it. And they are going to be willing to jump through the hoops to just get it for free because it's just gone above what they're willing to pay for that luxury, right? It's gone outside of that range. But for the most part, that's a challenge that a lot of different industries have had to face. When remember back in the days of Napster, right? That was very different because there was a very simple, very straightforward platform that you could have on your computer in a minute, and you could get a copy of a song in a matter of minutes, right? You didn't.
Yeah.
You could have an entire album. There was almost no cost, almost no effort that went into it, and so yeah, why not just download every damn album in the world, right? Like, why
Right.
not? So there were lots of
They did
people who
make it
engaged
very
in it.
tempting. I mean, at the time, you
Yeah,
really had to go to the store and do all this stuff. Suddenly, you click a button, and you can have any album.
yeah.
It really was a game changer, and,
Yeah, it became incredibly easy to just say, well, man, I don't, the quality of that music isn't even that good, but that's fine. I don't really care. Most people don't, quite a few people have, just a grade above a 10 ear, right? They can't
right.
even hear all of the compression and everything that's in the music. They don't really care,
No, they
if it's
don't.
really top of the line. First of all, they're not playing it through decent speakers, so they don't, they can't even hear it. So, going out, look, I can go out, I can get the entire album for, whatever. It takes me a few minutes and I've got it. And for them, that was, yeah, piracy, super easy, super convenient. Why not? Right. But video is much more complex. It takes a lot more effort, takes a lot more space on your computer. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people who they're just not willing to bother with it. And there are some people who are heavy consumers of it. They download lots of this stuff. And the reality is that there's a lot of it that they download that they just download because they want to have it, not because they actually really cared about seeing that film or whatever, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's been research into this, looking at it, but I don't know what kind of how significant it will be with their box office. It depends on how heavily those copies are hitting the the high seas, as we say. But
True.
yeah, who know? I'm sure the movie will still do well. People do enjoy going to see movies on the big screen. Very few of those people are going to be tempted to be like, whoa, well, I could just get it for free in a crummy HD copy, heavily compressed HD copy I could watch at home. I think a lot of them are going to go and enjoy the film, especially since, I mean, I'm sure that this movie was never going to make a massive amount. This was not going to be this isn't Doomsday, right? This wasn't going to be something that pulls in 800 million. It's a Jason Statham movie. There's a small, very, committed audience who enjoys these kinds of films that was going to go to the theaters to watch it. And I'm sure that most of them are still going to show up.
I'm sure.
Tomahawk, I go to the cinema for the AC and unlimited sodas.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
we were talking about going to India and watching stuff, and I would never do that. But if I did ever do that, which I didn't, many years ago, I thought I was going to India to watch a certain movie, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something very specific that I wanted to see. Maybe it was like an action movie or something like that. And I visited India, And in India, sometimes they give you a file as a courtesy. Uh, so you walk away with an Indian file, which I would never do. Do you get what I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's I have no idea where those Telugu subtitles came from.
I don't know either. So, what happened was I was very excited. I was gonna, and I also, I already set up the whole trip to India. Everything was great, and I said, you know what, I'm not gonna take the trip now. I'm gonna wait. Maybe in the evening, I'll go take the trip to India, and then in the evening, I don't know if maybe there were people. I don't really know what happened, but I wanted to finally see what the whole thing was about, and it turned out that it wasn't even the movie that I thought. It was a different one. That used to happen sometimes, that you click on it, and you know what movie it was?
No, what was it?
Office Space. That's how I saw Office Space. The funny thing is, I never even knew that that movie existed. It was around those years that it came out, but it kind of came and went in the theater, and it wasn't
Yeah, it
actually a big hit.
wasn't a
But
big
I
hit.
think
No.
I feel like maybe because of India and other things, it started the Indian market. Maybe that's how people started watching, or maybe on home media, and then it became sort of like a cult movie. So I suddenly had it, and I'm like, well, what is this? And I was watching it, and it kind of amused me, so I just stuck with it. And by the time I was done with it, I said, well, it wasn't the trip to India that I had imagined, but it wasn't a bad trip to India nevertheless.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Office Space was not a hit in theaters. It was definitely a sleeper. It really took off when it hit physical media. I was looking at the numbers real quick because I mean I know when I saw it, I didn't see it in the theaters, right? I had buddies that said this movie is we rented this movie last week. It is hilarious. We need to watch it. So we sat down and we watched it, and oh yeah, I went out and bought a copy the next day. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was a hilarious film, but yeah, it was a $10 million film. It only made 12 in the theaters. While it was while it was in theaters, but it made almost three times that in physical media and
For
digital
sure, for
sales and
sure.
stuff. Like it exploded, blew up when it hit the actual DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff later on. So yeah, it did really, really well. It did make its money back,
For
in
sure.
time. But yeah, it took until it got to got to physical media and people started enjoying it. And it makes me sad, like when you see stuff like that, right? That so many of these companies are trying to kill off physical media. I was in a conversation with someone earlier today about this, about killing off physical media and how frustrating that is. That all of these
Yeah,
companies like is just what they want, right? Price. What they really want is to put all of their stuff onto a streaming platform, never produce physical media. And then if you want to watch the show, you want to watch the movie, you want to do whatever, you have to pay them to watch it. You have to pay for their service. And if you always want access to that show because you enjoy it so much, then you have to pay them in perpetuity. You have to continue paying them forever. And that's what they want. They just want to have it so that you are constantly forced to pay them to watch their stuff. You're never allowed to actually just pay them once and then have it. And they're doing the same thing with video games. They're doing the same thing with with just about everything, right? Where it's just this constant you always have to rent it from them. You're never allowed to just have a copy for yourself. I mean, that's why I'm buying up physical media like crazy. Any classic TV series that I love, any films that I really care about being able to watch again or share with anybody. I want to have every one of those things on physical media so that at some point, if I want to go back and watch them, I've got a way to do it. I'm also buying up extra Blu-ray players and buying up Blu-ray players for the computer. Bought a couple of Blu-ray players for the computer to hold on to just in case, so that I can use them to transfer media from one format to another if that's necessary. So yeah,
for sure. So, yeah, How did we get here, Professor?
Oh,
Oh,
we're all over the place.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
We
Everybody's
were
used
talking
to
we
it.
were talking about mutiny getting getting accidentally released,
I was excited
which
to see it.
is
I still may see it in the theater because I have those kind of passes that I can just go see whatever I want, so
yeah.
I may just go watch it.
And it's you know what you're getting with a Jason Statham movie, right? You're gonna get a solid action movie. It's gonna have a few gags in it. It's gonna have some great action scenes, and yeah,
Every Jason Statham movie is basically a sequel to the previous Jason Statham movie, if you think about it,
in some form, yes,
in some form. Uh, he's usually playing the same character. Honestly, you could just start editing clips for from
yeah.
the past 5
Well, I think
movies.
it's a cinematic universe. They're all Jason Statham is all of these characters, and all of these characters are different, but they're the same person in like different universes.
It's like the multiverse, but with
Exactly.
Jason Statham. It's like the Stathamverse, but the only multiverse in the world that has ever worked is the Stathamverse, because you know that it's the same character. He's just now he's wearing a construction hat. Now he has like bees in his garden. Now he's like driving a car. It all doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You understand the basic idea. In most of them, by the way, the thing that kind of unites all of these different characters, they usually tell you that in the past, in his youth or earlier on, he was in the British like MI6, or there was some British
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
whatever. They try to say that he was a British soldier or something. Usually they give him that. They usually give him that in almost every role that he does. There'll be a moment that somebody shows a picture of him with like a beret, and you gotta
Yeah.
like a green beret, not a green beret, but whatever the England equivalent of that he's in some special forces, and they have a picture of him, and then the two bad guys are like, well, how did this man end up on this ship or whatever, wherever he is? Each time it's something else, but they'll always do that. Isn't the guy
Yep.
from Taken the Same Way? You mean Liam Neeson? Liam Neeson also. I mean, I can't hate on Liam Neeson. He did very serious roles, and at some point, somebody took him for that Taken movie, and it's almost like his career got a second wind. That now he's kind of this badass guy, and there's criminals and whatever. Now he's older now. He's significantly older, so most of the movies that he makes, he's not as like physical. I think that at this point, maybe his family is in danger and all this other stuff. It's funny because he's not a young man, and even in recent years, there was a movie that had him have like a wife and children that seemed pretty young, and he was working at like some embassy in Europe or something, and there was like a bomb strapped to his car. And I thought to myself, man, I mean, it's a real stretch that he has these young children. That it really, but somehow you're just like, okay, whatever. You accept it. I still kind of enjoyed the movie. It wasn't the best movie. I enjoyed it.
We have a Rumble rant. We don't want to get too far away from it because it's on topic. So,
Okay, hold on. Where
um,
is it?
yeah.
Some late guy, Long Island 90. Office Space was, and this is a $10 Rumble rant. Thank you very much. I always appreciate that on the Rumble side, you kind of keep things going with the Rumble rants. Office Space was big in the mid 2000s. Comedy Central used to replay that almost every day or so. I still
They
remember the
did.
promos. It was big on the internet. The memes and such were everywhere. It's a movie that until today, there's some situations that are especially when you're dealing with like corporations and corporate nonsense, which still somehow ring true. There is a difference because these days you do actually do a lot of remote work and things like that, what they didn't have, meaning he really wanted to be a remote worker or work outside the office or things like that, and today he could get all of that done. But the kind of passing the buck and people pointing fingers at each other and sort of uh, wasting each other's times with like memos and nonsense, that could still happen today, meaning the stupid things that could happen in an office could still happen even though some of it has changed, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, there's been a little change, but not much. Yeah, still cubicles and having way too many bosses to report to and having all sorts of absolute BS work that you have to do just to be able to talk about your work. Yep, Phantom Monk TPS reports. I have I have actually filled out a TPS report. It's test procedure specification. It's used in quality assurance work. So yeah.
I love the TPS report thing.
Yes.
Really,
Yeah.
to date, I still love the scene where he finally arrives at the office and he talks to the 2 Bobs, and he just tells them that how he doesn't do anything around there and he's doesn't care, and he's so relaxed that they immediately want him to be upper management. It's like the best thing. I don't know why. That scene, I always remember it, and it's the highlight of the whole movie for me.
Yep.
Uh
Yes, yes, Phantom Monk, they exist, and yes, I have actually I have done TPS reports. It's where you basically spell out like, here's how I'm going to test this system, like physical setup and the software you're running it on, the system that you're running it on, logging stuff that's going on. Yeah, it's it's just like here's how I'm going to test this thing to ensure that it's working properly.
Some late guy, Long Island 90, with another Rumble rant for $5. Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. Very nice of you. Greatly appreciated. Jason Statham stars in an action film where he's a grocery stock boy who has to defend a store. And by the way, he's an ex-military elite who wanted to stop killing but has to go back to his ways. That's like in every movie. I don't even know if such a movie like that exists, but if you now press play and show that I missed one and that's what happens, I'd believe it. He'll always work in some kind of everyman job, and he just wants to live in peace and quiet and just like lay the bricks or work in a grocery or be a driver, whatever it is. He just wants to go construction. He just wants to go about his business. But then something bad happens and he has no choice but to take action. He has made
He's
the same
yeah. He
the
it's
same movie.
he just cannot allow this to stand. He has to, do what he has to do in order for things to be right. Yeah.
You could just say you could just call these movies like Stay Them 1, Stay Them 2, Stay Them 24, Stay Them 27. Does it really even matter? Does it really matter? Like Mutiny, even at least I give them credit. I don't even I saw the trailer for Mutiny because I think I was on a stream and somebody put it on. Maybe it was like Irwin or somebody put it on, and I watched it. But quite honestly, I don't even have to watch the trailer. I see his face on a poster. I know what movie this is.
Hmm.
And interestingly, I'm most likely going to watch the movie in the theater because why not? I mean, at least I know one thing. To date, almost every movie that I've gone to see a Jason Statham movie, it doesn't have too many girl bosses dictating to him what to do. He shows up and does his action and he leaves, and I can live with that. There'll be some ladies around him, maybe some competent ladies or something, but it's never it never the movies with him in it understand that he's in the movie and that's the reason people came to see it. They don't do overly agenda stuff in his movies, at least until now. They haven't really done that. They know that that's not their target audience. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that like a typical Jason Statham movie, you don't have like people, these kind of blue-haired activists in some writer's room saying, "Well, can't we add like somebody with pronouns to the scene?" Nobody's thinking that. They're not even trying. And I think that it's another thing. Because Jason Statham is basically Jason Statham, he's not James Bond. If it's James Bond, they think, well, maybe at some point there'll be a different actor, and then we can put 70 agenda things that we want to put into it, like they did with Craig. Okay, but Jason Statham, there's not somebody else that's gonna replace Jason Statham as Jay. There could be a new guy that does action, but it's not like James Bond. You can't replace him.
Hmm.
As long as he's willing to do these movies, he's going to do them. The only thing I will say, the man's not getting any younger. How old is he already? He's probably in his late 50s or something, no?
Oh, I have no idea. Let's see. Looks like he is 59. Yeah.
I mean, look, he's doing great for his age, but it's not like forever he can go around doing these, movies that he's kicking ass. But Yeah, all across Rumble what? Have no idea what's going on. In any case, wait a second, it shows I love the way you're getting out there. I
I think
don't
they're having a conversation, God bless and Phantom Monk. Or
okay,
having a conversation.
okay. So
Yeah.
sorry, guys, I didn't mean to interrupt. I
No,
was
it's okay.
thinking they're saying something to us, and I'm like, "Wow, this is so kind." They're saying such kind things to us, but they're actually saying kind things to each other,
To each other, which is also
which is
awesome.
perfectly fine, perfect. I
Love to
don't
see it.
need that kind of reinforcement, and, they're not obligated to say nice things about us. Before Sweeney, we had Amy Smart. Amy Smart was in that movie Crank that,
Mhm.
he has to, bang her or else he dies. Man,
Oh, yes.
that was one interesting movie, that Crank one. It was so bonkers, insane, and silly, but there's still something popcorn fun about it, as dumb as it is. Uh He looks, younger than Wilford Brimley, age 20. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, and somebody wrote that he has a nice wife. His wife was, I think it's Rosie Huntington Whiteley. She's also significantly younger than him. She, was a Victoria's Secret model, and from what I recall, basically, when Megan Fox caused problems, on the set of Transformers for the 3rd Transformers movie, they just I don't know, I don't remember why I think this. Once they had issues with her, I think that either Spielberg or Michael Bay or both of them just said, "Can you bring me the latest Victoria's Secret model?" I said not model, magazine, because at the time they had still the magazines. And then somebody brought them
Mhm.
the magazine. I think they just opened it up, and whoever was like, or whoever was on like the front or whatever it is, they're like, "Okay, call this lady and see if she can be in this movie." And then that's how she was. I think so. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm telling a false story here, but I feel like it was something very mechanical. They just said, "Okay, we don't have that. Everybody thinks that Megan Fox is hot. We need a hot woman. Give me a Victoria's Secret magazine. Okay, it's her. Let's give her a call." Then she's in the movie. So that one is the one that married Jason Statham. Uh, I haven't seen
Actually,
her really.
from what I can tell, it doesn't look like they're actually married. They've just been together for 15, 16 years now.
Let me see for a
Yeah, they got
second.
engaged, but like didn't get married. I don't know. But yeah, she is. Woo! She is a looker.
Well, good for him. Good for him. He is. How old is she?
No idea.
Oh, it's like it says partners and engaged. He's been with her since 2010. She is 39. Listen, some time has gone by. Even she's already 39. But yeah, she's a nice looking lady. But again, he's 59. She's 39. So he
Mhm.
stathamed his way into that. Non-stop Statham, even in his private life. He's just full on Statham.
She saw
But
that scene with Amy Smart and she said, "I want
yeah,
that, but
that's what
for
she
real."
wants. You know what? Good for him, good for him. You know what also is good for him? It's like, he's a guy, he has kind of he doesn't have, like, a full head of hair. He didn't do that whole Hollywood thing. I mean, there's a lot of actors in Hollywood that probably don't have a full head of hair, but they do a lot of work to make it seem like they do.
Yep.
For
Yep.
example, I mean, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, I don't really care, but, from Ben Affleck, I've heard over the years, maybe Ryan Reynolds. People say also maybe Brad Pitt. But when you have so much money, there's already, you want to call them hair systems or whatever you want to call it today, that are so precise and so seamless that if you're really rich and in Hollywood, they could just make it look like you have hair and it's not a big deal. I wonder sometimes if you see the people up close, if you really look closely, if it would look any different. But a lot of these have a really good setup.
I've been up close with William Shatner. You really can't tell.
I believe that.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, because I don't really know. I don't really know the techniques today, but there's stuff I guess that they
yeah.
have that
There's a variety of different things that they can do. Yeah, yeah. Donald Trump has his weird hair the way he does because of hair implants.
Right.
Yeah,
But, in his case, I do believe that it's his own hair, it's just
it
that
is. It is.
it just kind of, looks however it looks, but I do think that, it's his own hair. Actually, as he gets older, it's less of a big deal because he's, like, getting older anyway, so I think that.
Yeah, it's thinning out. It doesn't look quite as
Right, but I
strange.
mean,
Yeah.
once somebody gets older, you're kind of like, "Ah, whatever." It's just, I think that there were years that maybe it looked more kind of strange, and I think that in more recent years, it just kind of looks normal in its own strange way. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so, again, Strugan says Elon got plugs. There are ways where you can, get implants, and Elon certainly has the most money. If there's one guy that could spend just, like, have an endless bill to make himself look the best in that situation, it's Elon. Whatever work Elon has gotten done is, in my opinion, phenomenal.
Yeah.
It like, you know.
You'd hope a trillionaire could afford the best.
Right. I just wonder, not that I can afford what he did, I just wonder what he did, just for my own knowledge, at least so I can, uh, you know,
Hmm.
it would be nice to know, because I kind of want that full head of hair. Burn bum hair on your head? Yeah, no, that is, Elon should get a personal trainer, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I have Nudix says you can also go bald like a man. A lot of people do
Yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like you Jason Statham, I know a guy like just go for it, right? Like especially like if you can pull it off and honestly a lot of guys can. They don't think they can, but they can. Yeah, just go, just take it off. Just Jason Statham it, man. It looks fine. Just own it. People get used to it. Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna feel weird, but bald is beautiful, man. I got no problem with it. I'm not gonna have to worry about it most likely. Genetically, I'm probably, if you look at my grandfathers on both sides of my family, they both had most of their hair until they died. It thinned out, but they still had most of their hair. In fact, my grandfather on my mother's side, his hair was still red when he was in his 90s before he passed. So, I mean, he had not gone completely gray even at that point. So, I'm probably not going to have to worry about losing my hair, but yeah. Oh, I definitely have gray hair, Ista. I've definitely gone down that route. It's not all gray, but yeah, I've got quite a bit. But yeah, man, there's so many guys out there I think that would look just fine with just shaving it and just owning it. Agreed. I
He's
have no dick.
talking too much and not stating the obvious. I don't know who you're talking about. Uh, well, Istophobos
Talking
says
too
I'm
much and
not
not
even
stating
gray
out.
at 70.
I,
I
I
got
am
other.
not I am not bald, but if I were going bald, I would just go for it and just take it all
Well,
off.
yep, that's probably the only choice. But I will say this because I do read stuff like this. They claim the thing they claim they've been claiming this for so many years, but now they're claiming that maybe within the next 5 years there will be significant breakthroughs that really not just that you because over the years they're like, oh, put this cream on your head and all this stuff. That stuff is mostly nonsense. For the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
So
there's medications and stuff, but yeah,
the medications they have today are that mainly if you're young and you're starting to lose your hair, if you take some of these medications, maybe it'll significantly slow it down or even in some cases be able to stop it. But the idea that you're just kind of like taking a pill or you're just putting like a cream on your head and suddenly like you look like Elvis, that ain't happening. That's not what's going on. However, there's some that claim that over the next 5 years, maybe there will be some new developments that'll somehow uh, be able to do something like that. I don't know. And then all the people that were ever bald, they're all suddenly gonna look like Elvis. Uh, Reacham 842. If you have balding hair, just shave it. I did it at 21 when I noticed starting to shave since. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I actually that's kind of what I do. I do actually,
Yeah,
keep it shaved most of the time because that's probably
yeah.
the best option.
And
Yeah.
it looks fine. It looks fine. Once people get used to it, once you get used to it, most men, it looks just fine on them. And some men look quite masculine actually with a bald head. I'm gonna be honest, but yeah, reach him. I've got a buddy. He started losing his hair in college. Yeah, I mean his started coming out, and he was really embarrassed by the whole thing, and then eventually he just decided like there's nothing he can do, right? And he just just started out, just owned it, shaved it off, and he looks fine. Yeah. So the price of reason hair club for men. We've been
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I mean, yeah,
yes, it's to half bald is the worst way to go. Yeah,
right. No,
agreed.
that I agree. Because what happens is that, when it starts kind of looking like it's not looking good and you're trying to comb it one way or the other way, which is kind of like what Trump sort of used to do, I think. I don't
Yeah,
really know. Uh, it somehow ends up looking worse. At that point, your best bet is just to shave it. And, also, if you still have hair for a while and you're doing the shave thing, it's just it looks like maybe you like to keep it shaved or something like that. So I mean, people do
yeah.
whatever is good for
Oh
them.
man, no,
It would be nice. It would be nice if they had the thing that the cream and it grows all your hair back, but they don't have that.
yeah, man. I had an uncle that for years did the comb over, and it was so bad.
Yeah,
So bad. But that was honestly, it was kind of the style, like in the early '80s. Like the comb over was still kind of in, and so yeah, oh yeah, it always looks so bad.
yeah, yeah. I agree. It doesn't look good, and it's there's no point. If you're in that
It
position, you should just shave, and
yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
And when it comes to the planting and whatever, I think I can't believe we're talking about that. We're going to go to something else soon, but I don't even know how we got here. But basically, what they do is they look at the back of your head, and there's something called a donor area. And then either you have like a lot of hair, and they start like taking from there and planting it in the other places of your head. But it always seems like you don't have enough in that donor area to cover all the other spots or whatever. It starts
Mhm.
to become a really tricky situation. And somebody said here in the chat that maybe somebody like Elon Musk has something where they go to other places in his body and try to like grab hair from there. There are people that do that, so I don't know. But
Yep,
whatever the case may be, his looks good. I guess if you have $1 trillion, you can make it look good.
yep. Well, thank you for that $10 Rumble rant, Reachum. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for the Rumble rants here. For
How did we get here, Price?
I don't know, but we were
Jason Statham. We were talking about.
Jason Statham.
We
Jason
still
Statham.
haven't. We've been here for an hour. We still haven't gotten off Jason Statham yet.
We're still with Jason Statham. Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
Lanterns. Sorry,
what?
go on.
No. Go ahead. What?
I was going to say Lanterns is a hit for James Gunn's question mark.
Do you have something for that, or yeah?
Yeah.
Because I've also got a surprise for tonight because I watched something. Believe it
Interesting.
or not.
So I'm gonna 1 second. I have to bring that article, but there have been a few articles today kind of framing the narrative that James Gunn, this is a huge win for him. Uh, Lanterns.
I don't think we have enough to know that this is a huge win for him yet. I
Right. And
think this
that's,
is nonsense.
yes, here,
We're only just now getting some of the like Nielsen data from 3 weeks ago. So
right.
we don't know what the Nielsen data looks like for Lanterns yet.
So it says Lanterns premieres among HBO's Max Lanterns. Why does it make me sound weird when I try to read this? Lanterns premieres among HBO Max's top titles, besting DC Studios' predecessor, The Penguin. Now, on the surface, this sounds fantastic. Let's see what else they say. It outperformed It, Welcome to Derry, The Penguin, True Detective, Night Country. Those went on to average 27.1, 19.8 million, and 7 17.5 global viewers, respectively, making a good case for the trajectory of Lanterns. Uh, Also, they're presenting this as this is the best thing that ever happened. The only question that really matters here, and this is the important one, how many people are going to be left at the end of the season? Because people tuning in thinking that this is going to be a great show and watching it, I don't know if they saw this and thought that this was such a great show. Was this something that everybody watched and thought this is the best thing I've ever seen? I need to see more of it. I don't really know.
See, here's the problem. Like, so the first episode, it did better than the first episode of The Penguin. Okay, that's fine. It didn't do as well as the last episode of The Penguin. So that's the thing. The Penguin was kind of a sleeper. People didn't know this was going to be a hit. Weren't particularly excited about it just yet.
No,
some people it was going to be tied
yeah.
to the. It was going to be tied to the original, to the Batman movie. Maybe they hadn't seen it. They weren't sure. Their audience grew every single week through the finale, and the finale had 50% higher audience than episode 1.
And that's how
Right?
you know you really have a hit. The
Yes,
question
exactly.
is, will this have that kind of effect? Where are we going to be at the end of this?
Exactly. Yeah. Do people stick around for all 8 episodes? Are more people showing up for each of those episodes than showed up for the week before? So far, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I can tell you my instinct on it, but I couldn't tell you what the average or even the totals are going to be by the time we get there. My instinct is I think a lot of people are going to check out after this first episode.
I mean, for example, I'll give you an example. When although it was much less than this series, and in general, it didn't do so well. But when the first Quantum Leap episode aired, I think it had some millions of viewers that watched it, and relatively speaking, for that premiere, NBC wasn't terribly unhappy with the amount of viewers that watched it. However, after those viewers watched it and looked at what it was, most of them never came back. I mean, if you really liked Quantum Leap and you thought that this is a sequel series to that show, and you turn it on and you see whatever you saw in that pilot, there is a slim chance that you're continuing to watch that. I watched it because I was so annoyed, and I wanted to see how much they're going to annoy me, which they did very much, and they wouldn't stop. Like they every time I thought that they'd gone very far, they went even further in annoying me. But what I'm saying is that they definitely lost their audience, and that happens a lot. Most of the time, there's this big hype, the thing premieres, people get excited, and then it falls off. The question is, did people really watch that and think, "Wow, this is the best thing we've ever seen"? I now, because I finally got around and it's not posted, I'm going to do some kind of review or whatever it is. I begrudgingly did this review. I had to rewatch this annoying episode. I didn't enjoy the rewatch. It's not that I rewatched it and I thought, man, this is a quality show. I didn't enjoy watching it initially. I didn't enjoy the rewatch either.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fun show.
No, it's not. It's not fun at all.
And that's really my issue with it. It should be fun.
I mean, it's just borrowing from all of these other shows. It's borrowing from all of these other, all these other things have been made before, Watchmen, Fargo, True Detective. And at the end of the episode, they kill off. I mean, obviously, we know he's going to be in more episodes, but they kill off literally the only character that was any fun at all in the show.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know where the show's going. I have my theories, my expectations, but I think a lot of people are going to see that it was kind of a dull episode. It was they didn't really explore the cosmic sort of part of being a Green Lantern, and they saw the bitter old man and a jealous young man, and a mystery that involves racism or something. Yeah. And I don't know that people really care. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks before we're going to get actual numbers from stuff like Nielsen's ratings, and then obviously we're gonna have to track to see where this goes moving forward. My guess is they're not adding viewers each week. Maybe for the finale. Maybe people are going to show back up for the finale to see if there's something special that's going to happen. But I really don't think that there's going to be big growth in their audience every single week like there was with Penguin. Penguin had genuine word of mouth going around. People saying, "No, this show is really good.
Right.
You should watch this show." Like there are really interesting storylines here, really interesting characters, solid acting. Like, you need to turn up for this. And people did. And they added every single week, they added audience. But I just don't see that happening.
I mean, initially when that
this.
Penguin thing came out, we didn't even care about it. I'm just like, what is this dumb thing? And then because it's like, who was even excited to see that? It looked, I want to be honest with you, Professor. I thought it would be a giant turd. And I begrudgingly watched that first episode. But then when I watched it, I said, hey, you know what? I kind of think this is pretty interesting. I want to see the next episode. I didn't feel that way about Lanterns. I'm not just saying that just because I want to be cool or just because it's James Gunn or whatever it is. I will always tell you, if I enjoyed it, if I watched it and it's good, even if it's James Gunn, if he comes out and does a show now that's a slam dunk, I'll tell you, listen, I don't especially prefer the guy and his stupid crap, but man, did I enjoy it. I'll even tell you, I enjoyed the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
The other ones I didn't hate, but they weren't as good as the first one. I didn't mind the Christmas special. I didn't even mind not the Suicide Squad, whatever it is.
Yeah, the gun version. Yeah,
whatever he did within the DC universe, he tried to bring his like ragtag Guardians feel to the Suicide Squad, and I thought that was fine. I didn't hate
for the
that
most
either.
part. That movie did work. It did. Yeah. I thought it was fun. Not the best thing I've ever seen, but
no.
yeah, just taking more of a hey, we're gonna take this ridiculous team of people. We're gonna give this an R rating. So there's gonna be tons of violence and swearing. We're gonna get crazy with it. And I thought it worked for the most part. But again, as you're saying, it's basically the same formula for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just taken to turning it up to 11 with the violence and the
exactly.
Profanity and stuff. I still love the first Guardians. It's great fun. The second one I also quite enjoy. The third one was fine, but at that point a lot of stuff kind of felt played out, and it felt like it dragged on too long, and there were some weird plot things that they did with that one. But the first two Guardians, those are ones I go back and watch on a regular basis. They're a lot of fun.
One of the reasons why I want to say third one had some issues is because basically he had initially written that screenplay about 5 years before the movie came out. And what happened was so much already happened with the MCU. There are all these terrible movies. Endgame was already done. They fired him. He got paid. Then he brought his lawyers. Then they went to Warner Brothers. Then they rehired him. They wanted the movie. So all of this really delayed it. So it didn't quite have the momentum that it could have had it been released years earlier. Also, even though I wouldn't say it wasn't like a full-on woke movie, but I feel like that's a turning point where you already saw that James Gunn is starting to shove some things. I thought at the time that he was shoving the things because like Feige and those Disney people were nudging him to do that, which is why you have I forget the guy's name. That there's like a mother who's a golden something, and she has the son that's something. Man, I can't remember those characters' names. Who was in the third one? There's like a mother and her son. What was the character's name? I fuck.
I don't remember which one you're talking about.
Man, there was some character that I think there was a guy like a golden guy and his mother.
Oh yeah. I was thinking like a mom and her little boy. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's supposed to be Adam Warlock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, yes. Adam Warlock. Now I remember.
Yeah, and
So
we met the mother. Yeah, right. She was the queen of the golden people. I can't remember their names off the top of my
that
head.
felt a
At the end
little
of the
girl
second
bossy.
one,
That
it
felt
was
a little bit girl bossy there.
it was a completely unnecessary thread to pull. It was left over from Guardians 2, and it was really not
Christopher
great.
says Guardians 2 was crap, let's be honest. I'll tell you.
I disagree. I don't think it was crap. I enjoyed it. It was not as good as the first one. It was not as tight a
No,
script.
not as
It
good.
had a very different direction that it went in. Talking, it did go into some of the tropes of like, oh, found family and stuff like that, right? But I enjoyed it. For what it was. The ending does get is over the top when he's creating giant Pac-Man and smashing his dad's statue with it. Like, it's ridiculous. It is. But there's some good stuff in that second film. But
And
I would never pretend that it's as good as the first one.
no, I wouldn't either. I think that for me, the first one was probably the best. I think that
Yeah.
the third one I liked better than the second a little bit more. And then
Okay.
the third and the second are kind of, they both have different types of issues. So I
Yeah.
see them both as flawed movies. Didn't hate either of them. Actually, the Christmas special was maybe more pleasant than the other two sequels. Like that one just, it does what it does. It doesn't outstay its welcome, and it's kind of innocent and has a little bit of fun in it. So I didn't mind, the Christmas special, but in any case, I don't just sit here, even though I think that James Gunn is super annoying personally, that's what I think of him. It's not that I just sit around all day and hope that everything he does is gonna be awful. If I would have gone into Superman and I would have sat there and Superman would have been the best movie, I wasn't just trying to say I don't like it. It's not true. I actually, prior to that, I thought to myself, "This is a test for James Gunn." I had been worried that he would do his goofy, stupid shit, but I thought to myself, maybe this one time he'll show that he really is that dude, that he understands the responsibility he has here, and he'll really respect the character. I wasn't going in there thinking, oh, this has to be terrible. Trust me, if I would have enjoyed it, I would have walked out and said I enjoyed it. And sometimes also there was movies that, that I also don't love what like Kevin Feige has been doing with MCU and all that stuff. I don't go in there loving Disney and everything that they've done. So when I walked into Spider-Man Brand New Day, it's not that I, just want to say how I'm not a shill. It's not that I want to say how great Disney is. I watched it and I even said in my review, there's a lot of issues to this movie. And if you nitpick here, there's a lot of issues with the screenplay and things that even bother us, even with a little bit of agenda peddling and things like that. And I said that in spite of all of that, I still had some fun watching it, and that's the honest truth. It's like it has a bunch of stuff that I don't agree with, the creative decisions, stuff that needed to be done differently. It has issues that are noticeable, but there's some scenes in it, especially kind of you see him, as Spider-Man, some of the action set pieces, whatever it is. There's some cool things happening there, and the overall atmosphere, I kind of liked it, even though I thought that the movie could have been better than it was. And that's fair
Yeah.
enough. I don't just
Yeah.
go in wanting to hate it. So if James Gunn did something good, I would say it. This lanterns thing for me was such a downer. It doesn't feel like what this is supposed to be. It's no fun at all. Why even call it lanterns? Why
Yeah.
even bother making this thing? If you wanted to make True Detective meets Fargo, why even bother with this shit? And the Penguin, you could do that because he doesn't have superpowers. He's just a criminal. So you could do that kind of ground level movie that he's dealing with all these other criminals because it works because you're not expecting anything else. With this thing, when they're supposed to be Green Lanterns, and the show is ashamed that they're green and that they're lanterns, and the shame that they have a suit, and a shame they don't even want to put on the mask, and they don't want to give each of them a ring, and they don't want to do this, and they don't want to do that, and they just want to make them both these two grumpy assholes who like one of them likes to have sex with unappealing older ladies, and the other one is a drunk jerk. Why even bother?
It's a great question.
Tomahawk says, "Can't we go back to talking about Statham?" Yeah, what am I gonna do? Guardians were way better in Infinity War than the second movie. I agree with that. I actually enjoyed them in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Infinity War really was probably the last, I don't know if to say the last great MCU movie, but I don't think there have been any as good as that one since. That one was really good. It was the resolution in the Endgame that was kind of like, I still enjoyed Endgame for the cinematic experience of sitting there with all these people, and it was like, there was again fun to be had in Endgame, but sure, that movie had plot holes. There's no doubt
A
about that.
lot of issues, yeah.
So yeah, I don't see a situation that every episode is going to have more
Yeah, that it
viewers.
keeps growing week to week. I think it's gonna keep turning people off. And
This
it's gonna shrink every week until probably the finale.
This one had, also, like, Green Lantern is something that people know, and they haven't had a lot of it over the years. There was a TV movie or whatever back in the day, you may have seen it in animation, but aside from that Ryan Reynolds movie in 2011, you really didn't get a proper live, big budget live adaptation in a movie like this, in a theatrical release. You didn't really get that. Oh, sorry, this is a series, but, I meant that one was the Ryan Reynolds one, but you didn't get something high profile. Still, this show is still expensive, even if it's not a feature film. You didn't get anything like this before. So, and you have both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, which is both of them in the same series. That could have had potential. That's the thing, that when they announced they were gonna make a show, and they're like, "We're gonna make a show about, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart," or whatever it was, that wasn't a bad idea. It's not that I thought to myself, "Oh, no, why are they doing this?" I thought, "Okay, cool, let's see what they do." But very quickly, once you say names like Damon Lindelof and Tom King or whatever, it's not a good sign. Damon Lindelof already, you say his name, and I already know that this project is gonna have issues.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't seem like it's gonna be something that's gonna suddenly rise to a
uh,
real hit, water cooler level show that
I'm sorry,
people need to watch every single day.
I think Ista sent me some DMs and I missed them, so I was just looking at them. Uh, this thing here, this is something that Ista sent us.
Mhm.
Let's see. Uh, so this
Oh, was
is
there something else?
no, I think this is the
Oh,
first
okay.
thing that Ista sent. So it's DC. Is it like urine going into Superman lanterns and
Yeah.
super?
Or sludge or something, yeah.
Right. I understand. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's good.
Just all
Thank
the
you.
same junk, all going in the same tanks. Right.
That is 100% true. I think that Supergirl until now may have been the worst, then Lanterns, then Superman, but all of them weren't especially like all of them weren't good, really.
Yep.
The thing with Lanterns is that it has decent actors. You could tell that these guys are not bad actors, and they're taking the project seriously on an acting level. That Kyle Chandler guy, he's a good casting choice. I like him. I also told you I like Kelly MacDonald, and although I'm not really familiar with the work of Aaron Pierre, I don't think that he's doing anything wrong acting wise. He's given a shitty script, but I didn't look at it and think, oh, this guy can't act. I thought to myself, okay, it's fine. Just that he's given the worst screenplay, but he's trying. They're all really trying hard. Also, some of the cinematography, the atmosphere that's created, if you wanted this kind of thing, it's not being executed in the worst way if you were looking for this. The problem is for me is I don't think that Green Lanterns should be that. At the end of the season, we'll see if that's true or not. Maybe there's enough normies that'll look at this and they'll like the fact that it's more grounded and they'll enjoy it. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you. What'll be curious to see is what's the second episode. Like you said, Penguin.
Yeah.
Every episode went up. The question is, what'll be here with the second episode? Even I don't know if they were talking about House of the Dragon. I think that one started also. People were kind of grumpy because of Game of Thrones, how it ended, and all this and all that. But then people started watching and saying, "Well, it's pretty good this first season of House of Dragon." So more and more people were watching it. I think I don't really know, but again, those were things that built some kind of momentum and surprised people with the premiere. Did this one really surprise people at the premiere? I honestly don't know. Is there a lot of people online that are praising Lanterns? Are they really digging it? I don't know.
Yeah, not that are in any way distinguishable from bots, right? Because it seems
Exactly.
like they all have the exact same things to say, and yeah, I don't think there's any organic excitement for Lanterns. Let's put it that way.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. So this is one thing that Istafobos sent. I
Yes, and
think
yeah, that's a deep cut. I don't know if you get that's a deep cut Simpsons reference there from. He goes to visit Duff, and they have like three different types of Duff that are on the containers, but they're clearly all coming from the same pipe.
I see.
And in fact, that was a so when Disney Plus, when they bought out Fox and they got the Simpsons, and they said we're gonna take the Simpsons and we're gonna rescan everything and make it HD, and they put everything in D plus in HD, but they made it all widescreen, meaning they cut the top and bottom off of the original 4:3 frame.
Okay.
This joke was one of the ones that people pointed out as, you can't just do that. You're ruining the show by cutting off the tops and bottoms of the picture. In this particular frame, in that HD widescreen version, you couldn't tell that these three different pipes were coming from the same place. So the joke was ruined, right? So
Did they end up fixing it, or they just said,
well, they
"Screw it"?
eventually they did. There was a huge outcry, and then they allowed people. You can go in and you can choose when you're watching The Simpsons if you want to see the widescreen version or the 4:3
Well, at least they listened
of
to
the old
somebody. It's a
seasons.
rare
They
thing that they
did.
actually listen.
I was absolutely shocked that they did that, but yeah.
And then let's see if there was something else that he. Let's see. What is this? This is his tweet. Let me share it. 1 second. Well, I'm going to share it in a second because we didn't get to that subject yet. So, Ista, I'm going to share this thing with Harry that you sent, but I want to first of
Yeah.
all just go over it. So, Lanterns, is it a hit for James Gunn or not? I don't know. I saw articles, I think it was Cosmic Book News or something like that, that were they were writing that there's a lot of rumors behind the scene that really people are very much thinking that James Gunn is on the way out at Warner Brothers. They
Mm-hmm.
have had some Cosmic Book News have had some good rumors being reported in the past. They have done some work that ended up panning out. So not taking away from that, but like I said, it's also rumors, so you don't know for sure. But again, even without having access to any specific insider at Paramount that could tell me one thing or another, or Warner, I can just say this, or at least not these days. I can just say this: the results speak for themselves. Both movies that he released that were supposed to launch a whole universe were considered a minor flop and a major flop. And if you combine them both together, money was spent. In one case, it barely kind of made back its money, maybe after streaming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the other case, didn't even do that. The other case, I don't know if it ever will. Like maybe 20 years from now, it'll have people that'll just watch it for some reason or something like that. But it's not money that you could really count on right now. And even then, I don't know that they'll ever make the money back. I don't really see this having like some weird cult following. You never know, but Supergirl, I can't see it becoming profitable in any way. You have his show
Never.
Peacemaker, which that the Peacemaker, the first season was basically the reason that and the Suicide Squad, which also didn't make money because it was the coup or whatever. But basically, the positive buzz from Peacemaker and also from that the Suicide Squad, those are the reasons why they gave him the job. So when he did Peacemaker season 2 and the season went off a cliff, and by the end of that season, most of the audience was gone, that already meant so he failed there. The one thing that he was already supposedly solid at doing, that already went off a cliff. Superman, minor flop. Supergirl, major flop. Creature Commandos, nobody's watching that show. It could be good, it could be bad. I think I watched like an episode or two when it came out. I barely remember even what I was looking at. It didn't speak to me. I don't really know. Maybe it's good, maybe it isn't, but uh, they're giving it another season because when they do animation, they do it 2 seasons, so that'll have a second season. But to date, he really has nothing to show for it. Now he has this lanterns thing where they can claim that the premiere was good. I don't know, man. We have to see where this show is going to see if it'll really capture viewers or not. And the only way that this thing works if it captures these kind of normies that for some reason find this interesting. Will they? Won't they? I just don't know.
Don't know. Guess
Uh,
we're gonna have to wait and find out on that one.
like I said, I'm not saying that I don't like it just to be like a dick. I just don't like it. I don't think it's good. I didn't enjoy it. I am honest enough to say that I don't think every aspect of the production is bad if I wanted a true detective type of show. Like, if I had a screenplay for a show now that had like a true detective feel to it, and I wanted people to make that show, not a superhero show, just a crime drama, and these people that now are filming and directing and doing whatever with this show, they could probably do that. If I gave them the screenplays, they could probably make it look decent for that. But it's just that they're trying to paste. What do they call it when you do like you're trying to put a round peg in a square something? What's the saying?
A round peg in a square hole. Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put a round peg in a square hole. That's what bothers me most about the show. Plus, there is the little agenda peddling underlying themes. I mean, you could have gotten away with a lot of weird agenda peddling, but by the end of the episode, basically the lesson is this: if you're from Nebraska and Barack Obama is mentioned, and you don't have something Russicist to say, implying that if you're in Nebraska, you must be a Russicist. If you don't have something like that to say, that means you must not really be from there. Hence, you're an alien or whatever from another planet. But
Uh
it's
huh.
like that's the way you uncover them, because if you mention Barack Obama and they're not Russicist, that's how you know. And I don't know. I mean, that's a strange agenda for a show to have.
Yes.
Very very strange and very specific agenda.
Well, and then the really the laughably bad, like, oh, we're gonna pretend these people are racists against aliens from other
Right.
planets, but
Yes, no, he's
really
like,
it's about being
well, we
racist
don't want
against.
nobody to come here and colonize us. That's why we had to put this militia together, yo. Or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that whole
it's not
scene
so
there.
good for the ones being colonized. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Something like that. It was annoying. It really did feel like they really wanted you to understand that those people that are in that place,
Yeah, it's
they are right wing, mustache man enthusiasts that don't take kindly to strangers hanging out in their territory
mhm.
and colonizing them. If you know what I mean. You can do a drink now.
Yep.
Knows just know he said several news this clearly didn't get.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, he didn't even have to go there. That's yeah, that's part of the yeah, that's part of the thing. He didn't have to go down the you don't have an opinion about Barack Hussein Obama. Like, he didn't even have to go down that road. He had already picked at it in several places where he figured that he didn't actually, he was not human. He was not, from there, because he there were a lot of is what the technically is referred to as a shibboleth, uh big word for it today. It's basically like it's sort of a key that helps you understand, like, that this person sort of belongs in the society. They belong in
no,
as part of the in group.
th-
And there were plenty of those that I think that could have been relied on, besides finding out whether or not he was a racist, because obviously if he's from small town Nebraska, he's going to be a racist.
right, but the thing is that initially he was asking him about the Harry Potter and the Hogwarts thing. That was fine. I think that if it would have remained that, and he maybe asked him a few questions like that, and the guy didn't know, and that's it. He's like, I think that even the Harry Potter was a dumb one. I would have chosen something else that's very Nebraska related. That if he doesn't know that, then he starts. They should have come up with something interesting that has nothing to do with politics, that's very local to Nebraska, and they should have set that up, and that he didn't know it, and it would have even been playful and fun. Once he went to the, you don't think that Barack Hussein Obama, once he said that, I'm like, come on, just stop this. Like, it's so unnecessary. And yeah, I mean, I will say this, it stopped short, and there were a lot of reshoots. Who knows what this show looked like before, because I think they did have some reshoots from what I recall. There were issues with the show, and then they were fixing it. Don't
Yep.
really know. But you've mentioned this also. Almost every conversation that Jon Stewart has with Hal Jordan has this strange skin color tension feeling to it, that it may be not exactly written, but it sure gives that vibe. Like what you
Yep.
also said, that the guy calls him Junior, and the way he says it. And also, on the flip side, you also have Jon Stewart making these little comments, taking digs that almost seems like uh, that Hal Jordan is this kind of privileged white guy. Uh, they have little digs that kind of, oh, how did you get the ring? Don't you think you need to actually work for it, or do something for it, or do
Oh
whatever?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It was made very very clear that Hal was never suited to getting the ring. Like that the writers and by extension
wait a second.
John say
Wait a
that.
second.
Yeah, I was gonna tell
Mexican.
you we've got a super chat from the amazing Mexican Iron Man in YouTube. So yeah, we need to get to that.
Oh man, Mexican Iron Man. Where have
It's
you
great to see you,
been?
Mike. He's
Man,
been a
what are you
busy
doing now?
boy.
Are you busy
He's a
now?
busy busy boy.
Do you want to join us, Mexican Iron Man? I haven't seen you in ages. Where have you been, man? Your retirement from YouTube, you got to make a comeback.
And
Uh,
it could be right here.
yeah, this could be your comeback, Mexican Iron
I'm
Man.
glad you've been focusing on your work, your family, and everything, Mike. That's great to hear.
Okay, I am now going to share this thing. Man, I haven't seen Mikey in such a long time. I really I am so happy for you that you're spending time with your family, and that's the right thing to do, but I want you to know that I was genuinely sad that I don't see you anymore. So, Mikey's like an OG guy, and I don't know, I'm just, it's strange. I think that Mikey is one of those people that, you realize that he's, that you kind of like the guy when he's no longer there.
Yeah.
As douchey as that sounds, I don't really know how else to explain it, because he's a real character. But then when he's not there, you're like, man, where's Mikey? And I find myself from time to time telling somebody, hey, where's Mexican Iron Man? And it's again, very happy for you, but at the same time, less happy for me. uh, Mexican Iron Man, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. This is great of you. Beyond the super chat, I'm just so happy to see you. Lanterns lost me in scene one. Anyone that thinks that shooting your kid is a way to show bravery is a freaking moron. And Beta asks, Green Lantern is my favorite in DC, and this show sucks Tijuana donkey nuts.
Oh,
I
agreed. Yeah,
can't.
I also a huge, as we've been talking about, a huge Green Lantern fan, Mexican Iron Man. So yeah, it's this show is a rough watch. Yeah.
I never said fire that Mexican. I was always happy when you were on a stream, and yeah.
He says he may be making a comeback in a month or so. So he's got some extra work and stuff to put behind him. So he says tonight he's up working on tax returns.
Well, that's good. Well,
Hey, that is the life. Yeah. And when you're as an accountant doing tax
I
or
understand.
audit, yeah, staying up
Well,
late.
in any case, Mexican Iron Man, if you ever decide to make a comeback, please,
And you're up this late.
and you're up late, please be in touch with me. That would be so great. And yeah, I mean, the thing with the problem with shooting the apples on the head is not just that happens. The fact that it's being shown as tough love,
Yeah.
like that's the father just showing the kid tough love. The show doesn't have an issue with it. The show has an issue with every word that Hal Jordan is saying. He's despicable. But this father, the military man father that put the apple on his kid's head and shot it, there's no issue with that whatsoever. There's two things that happen in this episode. At one point, when Hal leaves them in the car and they fly off the cliff with the ring or whatever it is, and he does the bubble wrap, he gets up and he's on the cliff there, and he calls his father. And his father is like his mentor. He's like, yeah, listen to what he did. He's like, don't worry, like this and this. You're training, you're doing this, you're doing that. He's like encouraging him. So this is a positive father figure. He's prepared him for this role by putting an apple on his head and shooting it. And then later, when he's talking to that grandma that he was boinking in the car, she
Yeah.
has like a grandson. And then when he teaches him football or whatever with that tire or whatever it is, he says to him, he's like, oh, where did you learn this? He's like, my dad used to put apples on my head and shoot them. And kid's like, okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, sounds
Like,
cool.
cool story, bro. And then like he just walks away,
Yep.
and he's like just chuckling about it like it's nothing. It isn't nothing. Do you understand how deranged that is, that your father would put apples on your head and shoot them? That is insanity. That is not something that's just like a cool story to tell. And I think that the show doesn't understand it. It's not presenting that father as though anything's wrong with him. There's no criticism there. There's more. The show seems to despise Hal Jordan more than that father.
Yep. It's messed up.
Piku
whole
says
thing.
they seem to want to bring down Hal as having privileged, white, the plucky John trained with his psycho father to earn it, making him the moral superior.
Yep. And that's what I was saying earlier
Wow,
today.
yeah.
Someone was talking about having killed off the character of Hal in the first episode, and I said that I prefer that they killed him off to what they're going to do to him in the rest of the show.
Yeah,
Because I'm convinced this is going to be a Jake Skywalker situation. They are going to make him angry, bitter, pathetic. They're gonna show us how he never deserved to have the ring in the first place, and they're going to thoroughly assassinate his character throughout the remainder of this show. And why do they have to do that for Hal? Why do they have to? Same thing, same reason they had to do that to Jake Skywalker is because their new character, they think they don't believe they can create a character that can be a strong, capable character without pushing down other characters. That's the only way that they can build up one character is by pushing down another. So they had to ruin Luke Skywalker to build up Rey. They're going to ruin Hal to build up Jon Stewart. That's what's going to happen for the rest of this show. And like I said, I've got my theories as to where they're actually going with the show in the end, but yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know what to say. It's probably true. Well, let me see for a second.
Yeah. Well, we speaking of speaking of terrible TV shows, Price, I did watch something.
What is it?
And frankly, I regret it.
Wow, you watched it? I didn't do it. Okay. Is that the one with the puppets that I keep seeing things? It seems so awful. I was almost curious, but I just can't do it. I just can't do it, Captain.
Yeah.
I don't have the power.
I didn't think I could do it either, but it's so many people were talking about it. So many people talking about how this is the worst thing that Star Trek has ever done.
Is it that
Dave Collin was so incensed by it. He started making fake shill posts that he was putting up this is the best thing Star Trek has done in 60 years and stuff like that. It was hilarious because people did not get that Dave Collin was trying to be sarcastic. And so we're like, oh, you've been bought. You're a shill. Oh. It's like, no, he's pointing out the people that will happily cheer on this level of just debased garbage that we have here. So yeah, Strange New Worlds. I have not watched an episode of this since season 2. I take that back. No, it was some season. Wait, no, was it season 3 or season 2? I don't know. It was the season with the musical episode in it,
Yeah, that
which
was
I didn't even watch all of that musical episode. It was so terrible. I fast forwarded through half of it. I mean, it was just so bad. But that in that season, I seriously could not handle. They have so thoroughly assassinated the character of Spock in this show. I just couldn't take it anymore. Like they've completely destroyed that character. This character is not Spock.
I
I
didn't
don't know
even
what
think
it
he was
is.
Spock after like 2 episodes. I stopped watching this. I watched a few episodes of this show and I said, I've had enough. I don't want to watch it anymore. And since then, and I always tell you this, when I stopped watching, I had people tell me, no, you don't know. Even people that I like, I won't name names. I don't want to be a dick, but there were even people that like, are legit that told me, you don't understand. This is one of their better shows. You may enjoy it. You should continue to watch it, Bryce. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to continue to watch it. I watched 2 episodes. I've had enough. I'm not watching this. This is some weird shit and
Yep.
I don't want anything to do with it. No, it really picks up. It reminds me of the old classic Star Trek. I don't give a shit. And like I'm saying, a number of people that I actually like respect and trust were saying stuff like that to me. They didn't sound as like annoying as I just described them, but you know what I'm trying to say. And it wasn't a good impersonation, I admit. But you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Uh yeah, it was season 2 that had the musical in it. So yeah, I didn't watch any of season 3. This is, now moved into season 4. And again, I haven't been watching this. I watched all the way through the first season. I really did try on the first season, and there were some decent episodes early on. There were some decent episodes that were okay. It consecutively, each episode was worse than the last one, and then they end up in the end of the season. They do this ridiculous thing where they take the Gorn, which is a classic race from TOS. They completely remake them into xenomorphs, where they lay their eggs in people's chest bursters, kind of a thing. It was ridiculous. And then they kill off what was the most interesting new character they brought into the show. They kill off it for stupid reasons. And that first, it was like, wow, it just got worse and worse. And then, the second season, they just kept destroying the character of Spock. It was so disrespectful. They did stupid transporter accident plots and whatever, and they were terrible. And so what do we get here? Well, we get a really stupid transporter accident plot, Price. So this episode, yes, the whole crew except for Spock are changed into puppets. Everybody, not just a handful of them, everyone on the ship changed into puppets. And how does it happen? A transporter accident. Scotty is trying to see if he can extend the range of the transporter, and he wants to beam this puppet that he has, this is a childhood toy of his that he still has. He wants to beam this puppet into the quarters of a guy on another ship who got better grades than him in the academy. That's the plot.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever like. I've seen so much stupid crap from Kurtzman Trek, and this is just it's cringe and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Scotty wants to send some weird
Scotty wants to beam this puppet. He wants to try and break the record for the longest transporter, like the furthest anyone has ever transported anything. So he makes a bunch of modification to the transporter, and he's gonna beam this puppet of his into the quarters of a guy who got better scores than him in the academy.
This is just awful, Professor. Seriously.
So this is the plot. So he modifies the transporters, and Spock has to go on a little mission. He goes on a shuttle and leaves. And while he's gone, he's on his way back, and Scotty, something happens. The transporter freaks out, and it literally beams every last person on the ship out of space. So they all get, everybody gets beamed up. The ship disappears. And when the ship reappears, everybody has been transformed into puppets. Spock boards the ship. He's out there looking around, and everybody's been turned into puppets. Somehow they are living, sentient, felt puppets.
This
But
this is worse than like jumping the shark. This should be its own term, meaning jumping the shark was bad. This should be a new level of bad. If this should be a new term, beam the puppet or whatever you want to call it. That is worse than jumping the shark. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Now I'm thinking of watching this
felting.
episode. The worst.
They felted the episode. It got terrible. But all the controls on the ship, none of the puppet characters, even though they're animated and alive, none of the puppet characters can work any of the controls because they're all like touch sensitive, right? They're all like biometrically keyed to their, hands and fingerprints and whatever. But so like none of the controls work. So the only person on the ship who can do anything, run any of the controls, turn on the turbo lifts, fire the phasers, do whatever it is. The only person who can do anything is Spock, because the rest of them are made of felt and they can't use any of the controls anywhere. We're subjected to this stupidity where we find out, hey, we're going to try and fix this. We're going to try and use the, transporters, try and fix it. And they can't do it. But they find out that they can be torn to pieces and none of them feel it. They're okay. Like, this Noonien Singh chick, which is a stupid addition to the show, gets her arm torn off and she's like, yeah, it's fine. And they just like stitch it back on and her arm is fine. So, they are, trying to figure things out, and an Orion ship shows up and starts scanning them and realizes that there's only one life form aboard. And, then they contact them, and basically they end up figuring out that the whole crew has been turned into puppets. So they're like, well, hey, nobody is there that can defend themselves. So we're just going to invade the ship and take it, because you guys can't fight us off. So they, the Orions come onto the ship to take it over. By the way, yet again, Spock's fiance, T'Pring, who was introduced in TOS, right? In the very famous episode, Mock Time. We are led to believe that they have not seen each other since childhood, but yet she's around in almost every other episode of the show. And she's around again in this episode. In fact, she's one of the people who gets turned into a puppet. They decide these it's what it says, no voice commands. No. They mention that somehow the voice commands have been disabled. So they're not allowed to control anything with voice on the ship. And there's all of these controls are all touchscreen, whatever. So the Orions are trying to take over the ship, and they decide that they're going to try to get Spock to tell. They're going to try and torture him, but obviously he's Vulcan, so he can't be tortured, whatever. So they decide they're going to start spacing the crew, right? So they stick the captain in an airlock and shoot him out into space, and at which point they find out that, well, they're puppets. They also don't need oxygen. They can live in the vacuum of space. So they get the captain back in, and they figure out, they're like, well, we're puppets now. We can't fight back like humans. We have to fight back like puppets. Because we're small and we can do things that we can survive things that humans couldn't survive. So we got to fight back like puppets. And so they're going to use their puppet powers to defeat the Orions. What do puppet powers look like? It mainly involves ganging up on them and letting themselves be cut to pieces or set on fire, so that they can then use that against them somehow. Eventually, they do figure out again because there's your T'Pring puppet. They don't need oxygen, so what they figure out, they get Spock in place where he can go in and he turns off all the life support and it suffocates all of the Orions so that they can take back the ship. And of course, it also suffocates Spock, but they revive him and they throw all of the Orions off the ship. In the end, they're like, "Oh, we can be changed back. We figured out how to change people back into humans." And but we want to do one more thing before we change everybody back into humans. Let's see. Do they have a picture of that in this this thing? No. They all decide that what would be really important and fun would be is if we all get to go float around in space, because we can't do that if we're humans because we would die, right? So all of the puppet characters all go float around in the vacuum of space.
I see.
At which point, Spock wakes up. That's right, Price. This was all a dream.
I mean,
it was a dream. Spock was having a dream because he was actually, when he was coming back from that shuttle mission, he was beamed up and there was a transporter accident. He was injured in the transporter accident. The doctor treated him and he's been recovering, but he's been sleeping. So he wakes up from his nightmare and everyone's there and it was all a dream.
First of all, this is all stupid and they should have never done this, but the minimum is at least it's a dream. It is still bad enough as a dream. There's no justification for an episode like this. And in general, I never like that they do something and it's just a dream, because this isn't even something that's cool that there was a dream. This is just some weird shit that they should have never done. It's not really. It's really that they sat there and they said, we'd love to do something with puppets. How do we do it? So then they're like, well, let's do this. And at the end, we'll just say it's a dream. So people can't complain or say anything. So we'll just do something dumb, waste people's time. And then we'll tell them, no, it wasn't real. And we'll all have fun with puppets. But yeah, I mean, this show is already has so many issues. To try to pile on this stupid thing is so embarrassing and cringe, and I don't know. Everything you said here and showed looked like a disaster to me.
This show, Price, was appalling. This is one of the worst things I have ever seen in my life. It was so incredibly dumb, so incredibly just badly implemented, poorly told. The whole idea, there's going to be a transporter accident that turns people into puppets because, his puppet got stuck in the transporter buffer, and so then everyone else got merged with felt and whatever. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, of course it all ends up as a dream, right? So all the scientific explanations go out the window because it didn't actually happen. Right? So you can't, nitpick it for the scientific stuff because that was all fake. That was all just in his head. But oh my God, man, this was so unbelievably bad. People have been talking about saying, Star Trek now has a new worst episode. I got to be honest with you. While this was terrible, I think I hated the musical episode more.
That was bad too.
That one wasn't even a dream. That one actually happens.
Right, that one was real.
That one actually happens. There's a space anomaly that makes them all sing, including somehow it makes the Klingons change into boy band outfits with gold and stuff all over them, and
Kurtzman just shouldn't have any access to Star Trek. I don't know why they can't stop this. Why can't they stop this thing from happening anymore? How much more can they make a mockery of this thing?
Well, how much more? The answer would be this is episode 5 of 10. for the season. So we will get 5 more episodes in this season, and then there is already a 5th season that has already been filmed. That is a final 6 episodes, and we still have a 10-episode season of your and my favorite show, Starfleet Academy, coming at some point.
When is it coming? When
Next
is
year.
it coming?
I don't know when it's coming, Price. I wish I could tell you. My guess is sometimes in the spring.
I am eager to watch. You know what? I am eager
he's
to watch.
pumped.
I am already invested. Not invested in a way that I like the show or care, but I'm so knowledgeable because of all the reviews of what happens on the show that it's almost like a train wreck that you enjoy watching the train wreck to an extent. Because I don't treat this as Star Trek anymore, anyways. And Starfleet Academy, even within Kurtzman Trek, is somehow the bottom of the barrel within
Yeah.
the bottom of the barrel. So I'm not taking it seriously. It's not. I'm not even offended really at this point. I want to see the train wreck when it comes to.
Yes. Well, this show is also quite the train wreck. I mean, I will tell you the of all of the idiotic things that happened in this episode, the stuff that they thought this is going to be so funny and everyone's going to laugh. There's a moment, like I said, the puppets they decide, Pike tells them that they have to fight like puppets if they're going to win. So they can't fight like humans. They have to use their innate puppet abilities. So the Doctor is facing off against a one of the Orions, big bulky Orion, and like pretending like he's going to do martial arts or whatever. And then as the guy starts to come at him, he pulls out a pair of knitting needles because puppets and yarn. Pulls out knitting needles and attacks the Orion with knitting needles.
Folsom Lockdown says Price apparently has all the droogs if he's looking forward to more. It's not even that I'm looking forward to it. I know I'm going to suffer when I watch it. I'm going to suffer reviewing it, but there is I'm a bit curious to see what they'll do next, because it has to be one of the worst shows I've ever seen, maybe in any genre.
Yes.
And I'm so curious. It's like there's a part of me that's just curious to know how bad it's going to be. And I feel like the show is still, it's going to bring bad to new heights.
New levels of bad, yes.
It must be new levels of bad, because they probably already filmed this a while back, right? That's not that I think that they must have filmed both seasons together or whatever it is. I don't think that they
they filmed them back to back, just like this season 4 and then the abbreviated season 5 of Strange New Worlds. They filmed those back to back because these sets are all gone. They have been torn down. They have been
Gary
they've
bought
been
a
thrown
chair.
away. They've been sold off. Yeah.
Didn't Gary buy the captain's chair from the?
He bought one of the chairs from like one of the shuttles or something. I think is what Gary got. Yeah.
I think it's funny. Gary went to some convention and took pictures with the guy that plays Caleb or whatever it is. But, or maybe there were more that he took pictures with. What I did tell, I did respond to his. I don't know if he saw it even. I responded to that post where I said, I don't have anything against the actor that plays that guy. I don't think that he wanted to be on a crappy show. Some of those actors, I mean, it's not like they got up in the morning and they said, we'd love to be on this crappy show. They got a gig. Most of those are like unknown actors that I probably have never seen anywhere. They got a gig. It's a paying gig. And if I was offered to be on Starfleet Academy, I would take the deal. I would 100% be on Starfleet Academy. I'll say whatever dumb shit that they want me to say. I'll collect my check. I'll put it in the bank. And some people will say, well, you don't have integrity. I do have integrity. But the thing is that if I was like a guy that's swimming in kind of that kind of, I have like millions and millions and millions, and somebody came and they said, hey, do you want to be on Starfleet Academy? I'd probably say, you know what, I'm okay. It's okay. I don't have to be on it. But if you're an actor and you're that's what you want to do with your life, and you're a young actor, and somebody says, hey, here's a check, we want you to be on this show, there's no option. You can't say no. I don't think you can. I think, especially if you haven't really been in stuff. And right now we have this Indy Navarrete, or Navarrete, I don't know how I'm supposed to say her name. She actually has had a few kind of red carpet interviews that people have been rather impressed with. Did you see that by any chance?
Mm-mm.
I think it was Az that shared it. I don't know. I saw something that I think he shared that I kind of liked. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody mentioned they said they thought there was like a sitcom style episode. I have not seen that there's a sitcom style episode. There is a soap opera episode coming up, 2 episodes on episode 7 of the season, and then episode 9 is going to happen in a fantasy setting, like dragons and fairy tale stuff. Yeah. It's
So
and people say, oh, but there were always lighter episodes. There were always comedy episodes. Yes, there were episodes that had lighter stuff. Were a little goofier. Obviously, I mean, we had episodes in TOS that were a little on the lighter side, like Trouble with Tribbles, or I mean, there's other examples as well. We had episodes that were on the lighter side in TNG, Deep Space Nine. Here's the difference. You might get 2, maybe 3 episodes a season where they did that, where there was a gimmick or there was a, lighthearted comedy, whatever. 2 or 3 episodes in a season. This, we're talking about 4 and 5 episodes a season at minimum, maybe 6 episodes a season that are goofy gimmick episodes. And there's only 10 episodes to a season. So literally half of the show is just goofy gimmick episodes. They're not actually telling any real stories and getting into any really deep sci-fi. It was okay that we got a ridiculous Ferengi episode in Deep Space Nine once a season because there were 25 other episodes.
Right, exactly.
that weren't goofy, ridiculous episodes with.
I agree. I know exactly
with Quark
what
and
you
his
mean.
family, right?
Yep. I wanted to share this thing that
sure.
that Az showed. Let me see. I thought that was kind of cool. So he wrote.
I did see this. You're yeah. Okay.
So he wrote, "Protect this woman at all costs," and let's see what this video is. It's somebody interviewing Indy Navarrete on the red carpet, and I thought that was pretty good. Okay. Let's see.
You have become the obsession of so many folks from Obsession. Did you know that this was going to be such a hit?
No, not at all. I feel like whenever we were making it, we had so much fun. And the fact that everybody else is kind of having this response, we're just like, oh my God. So we feel involved, but also kind of like, how did we get here? It's just mind-boggling.
Everybody is trying to cast you in the next thing, including they want you to be cast alongside Michael B. Jordan in his next movie, The Fourth Wing. You have seen this.
I have seen this because I said that I'm a really big fan of Fourth Wing and I would love to play Violet. But I mean, at the end of the day, I really want the studio to find who they want to find and what everybody thinks is like the perfect role. But if that happens to me, that would be phenomenal.
So if you could send a message to them right now, what would you tell them?
I want you guys to pick the perfect Violet. And if it happens to be me, then that would be beautiful. But if not, I will tune in anyways.
You have become the obsession of so many folks.
Yeah. That is somebody who I hope maintains that based, straightforward attitude as an actress. When a lot of these actors, they get bigger, they lose this perspective. Yes, Drew Gunn, Michael B. Jordan does suck. But
but she doesn't. I like her.
That she is. I mean, so far I have seen nothing that she's done where I'm like, think she's awful. She was fantastic in Obsession. She really did incredibly well in that film, and just the attitude there of saying, like, what I would love that role. I think, I think that would be so much fun, but in the end, I want the people who are making the film to find the right person for that role. And if it's me, awesome. If it's not, I hope the person they find is great. And I'm going to I'm going to go watch that movie because I like that franchise and I'm going to enjoy it. Right. That level of humility is very, very impressive, especially given, I mean, like he said, she is, she is right now extremely in demand. Everybody wants her in their projects. So I'm sure she's getting offers left and right.
Right, there have been articles that they're like, "She refused to do this, she refused to do that," and some people were, like, criticizing her, and why did she take the MCU money and she didn't take something else? At the end of the day, I think that her agents probably told her, "Listen, you've done something phenomenal with this Obsession movie, and you're gonna have one shot now is to take the thing from the highest bidder." And they told her, "This Marvel thing, you say yes to this, and it's just it's guaranteed money." It's probably the kind of money that now, if I don't know how long she doesn't do anything, it's the exact opposite of what she made on Obsession. It's going to be a huge payday for her. And
Yep.
if I were her manager and agent, I would also say, like, listen, there was a movie that cost $750,000 that made like $450 million, and everybody's talking about her in this movie, and she's one of the reasons that it made that kind of money. Uh, we want a lot of money.
Oh,
And
yes.
somebody's going to pay it. The MCU were kind of frantic to get that closed before that D23. I'm pretty sure that if her manager and agent played their cards right, that was millions of dollars. To tell you exactly how many millions, I don't know, but usually it's millions of dollars, and also, likely some kind of back end deal, things like that. So it is going to be a deal that's good for her.
Mhm.
I don't have much hope. I don't really know what they're doing with X-Men or whatever, but uh
Oh, I have
it,
no hope for X-Men. I have no hope for anything in the MCU going forward,
I don't
period.
have any hope, but I do think that X-Men is probably going to do decent, initially, at least. They have like a good opening weekend or whatever. Between Sadie Sink, that people kind of like her, although they did a terrible job with Jean Grey in Brand New Day, but it doesn't matter. People like her, and that's something. Indy Navarette as Rogue is going to do something, and even that Samara Weaving girl, those three ladies, people actually like them. So if they don't make them put potato sacks on them, and they make them look pretty decent, I think that is enough to capture some interest. The part that I don't know what they're going to do there is, I feel like there's not one dude in that cast that's like, not, I don't want to say soy, but you know what I mean. There's
It
no.
doesn't matter because they are the men are not going to be heading the team. It's so Storm is going to be the head of the team, or Jean Grey is going to be the head of the team. They're going to be the ones giving out the orders and the directions and everything. The rest, they're just the men. They're just going to be utility players.
That
They're
sucks,
gonna
but
be there to humiliate when necessary. We know
okay.
where the MCU's going. We know where it's been.
That's true. I don't have much hope, but
Nope.
there's a chance that at least it'll do well, like, initially. I don't really know how it'll do more than that, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Uh, Another great night of television on Paramount Plus at 7 p.m. is Another Strange New World, followed by Starfleet Academy at 90210 at 8 p.m. I don't know when they're going to do that Starfleet Academy. I always thought that they would just dump it all in one day, because, man, the amount of crap that they had to hear over the course of those 2 months is something
Oh yeah.
unprecedented. If I'm David Ellison, I really would get pissed if I have to keep hearing about this shit. But we'll see what happens. Uh, we got 2 super chats. So one in addition to the Mikey one, which I'm still very happy about. So happy he was here. Hope he's still listening. The Deadman 79 199. It was all a dream. I used to Word Up magazine. It was all a dream. I used to Word Up magazine. I don't really know,
Mm.
Professor.
Yeah, not sure.
Word Up magazine. I don't really understand the.
I mean, I remember Word. It was a teen. It was like a teen magazine back in the 80s.
I
It
see.
was all a dream.
I thought that, like, the only thing I thought when I saw Word Up,
Oh, they're hip hop lyrics.
there's a song. There's a song called Word Up.
I think it's some lyrics.
It was all. Let me see lyrics. Let me see the lyrics to the song Word Up.
It's Ilord Corey says it's a Biggie reference.
Oh.
So it's a different. It's not the Word Up song.
Oh.
It's something later on. Juicy by Notorious B.I.G. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. I'm sorry. I am not. I am not particularly.
No, I actually know
Uh,
some of that stuff, but I
yeah.
somehow this wasn't a reference that I immediately understood.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, Dead Man. That is not a genre I am particularly familiar with.
no, for me it's embarrassing. I should have known something, but I don't know every single lyric. But I do know some kind of old school rap, and that would fall in that category. But I didn't quite get the reference initially. Sorry about that, but thank you for the 199. The Deadman 79 also has his own channel about Star Trek, which you should check out. Then you have you have RMT 38 with $5. I like turtles. Well, that's great. That is wonderful. Uh,
I like
th-
titles.
there was something that I was walking on the street and I saw I think a poster of turtle, like something that had to do with Ninja Turtles. I don't know if I can find it. Uh, I'll look for it in a second, but let me see for.
So Eminem says they might dump Starfleet Academy on New Year's Day at 4 a.m. One big dump. That would be a big dump. That's for sure. Yes. Very smelly one at that. But yeah, as far as I know, it looks season 2. It's there's not been a premiere date that's been announced for it. In fact, there was even rumors that they were talking to see if maybe they could sell it off to like Netflix or somebody instead of showing it.
It's such a hot potato. Who would even want this?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and Netflix it got burned badly by like Discovery and stuff like that, right? Because they paid a whole bunch of money to be able to get it and show it, and then the audience never showed up for it, and yeah, it did really bad for them. So it is expected to arrive sometime in 2027, that second season, but I don't know when. I mean, you'll remember the first one. It seems like it wasn't that long ago, man, but it was March when the first season came out. So I'm guessing probably around the same time frame for season 2.
Probably. I see E. Clay Thomason here. You know what's interesting? That for a while he wasn't called E. Clay Thomason anymore. It was
He was
like
just he was E.C. Thomason, yeah,
E.C.
and now he's
Thomason, and
changed
now,
it.
yeah, now he's back in business, yo.
But I recognized him, and I still called him out as E. Clay Thomason.
I did too. By the way, I think Ista may have fallen asleep. That's okay.
Yeah, well, maybe he wakes up.
Maybe he wakes up.
Maybe he's busy editing one of those videos that brings in people by the tens of thousands to watch on his channel.
A lot of people watch his channel. His
Yes.
channel's been doing very well. That's
Been doing
it's been doing
shocking.
great, actually.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he is working on a video, but in any
Who
case, I
knows? We
sent
did
him
get
an invite.
another. We did get another super chat.
We did. I sent him an invite
Yes.
because
Yeah,
you know, as
maybe he shows up.
maybe he'll see it. Maybe he's washing his hair. In any case, what we got another super chat? Let me look. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. I'm going to share it right now.
Big Sir River says, "Didn't a socialist win in Florida?" Maroon, possibly. Honestly, I haven't been watching the primaries all that closely. But yeah, there's quite a few of those DSA candidates that are getting up there. I think, there's been quite a few.
I love that Ista has
Ista.
a night owl outfit.
Yes.
Well, Ista, first of all, let me do the super chat. So piggy in a onesie. I have to get this right because piggy in a onesie, 1999 super chat. And that's Price. I love your stuff, brother. I try to watch your lives as much as I can. That's really kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I see you here sometimes, and I'm always happy to see people. That's the one thing that I really like is that I feel like there is a nice community of people that likes to hang out together at this point, and I'm just so grateful and thankful for it because it's just fun for us. And I don't know. I guess I'm hoping that it's fun for other people too. I don't know that I can hear you actually. No, I don't think I can hear you at all.
Nope.
Can't hear you. It is a nice teddy bear though, and he has the night owl get up, which I like a lot.
It's one of them there polar bears that's going extinct. Except that their population has only increased over the past 25 years.
I don't know what happened. Maybe you unplugged your microphone. Oh, that's it. He's gone. In any case, yeah, no, I also think that whoever the people are that are hanging out here with us, they're like the real people. It's a crowd that kind of built organically over time, and I don't know. It's kind of special. I kind of like the way that it all came together. And from time to time, we have new people joining us, and I like that as well.
Is it working now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Now I hear you.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. It just wasn't. But what were you talking about?
Nothing.
I don't know. When I first showed up, do you remember? It was just something little funny.
I don't know. I was saying that you have your get-up, your night owl outfit, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. No, making videos takes a lot of freaking time, man. It's like
it does take a lot of time. But I was telling him that your videos are doing really well, and people seem really excited about them. So it's cool.
Yeah, for the most part. So I intermittently checked to see if you post a link. I think I must have just checked, and then I went back to editing, and then that's when you mentioned I was asleep. That's how okay. I went to go check.
Well, that's cool.
But Mark's not here. None of the other night owls.
No, I don't see Mark in the chat today. So
yeah.
I mean, none of the other. Basically, yes. the night owl, the night owlers, like the night owls assemble, is basically me, Professor, you, and Mark. That's the night owls professor. Like once he's not here, then he's not here.
I think Mark is actually busy this evening. So
I see. Yeah. The only people, like if suddenly Mega Geek showed up or something like that, or Mr. Brown showed up. There's a few people, Jill or something like that. There's like a few people that if they showed up, they're also they get that courtesy invite for the night owls to assemble. But really, the official night owls assemble. If we're Voltron, it's me, Professor, you, and Mark D with a C.
Mark and me are both legs. Listen, I want you to think about something, really, because you said it, but you just watched an episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's like the premiere show on Paramount Plus, and a franchise that's about to have its 60th fucking anniversary, and the entire episode was just a fucking dream.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Like, as stupid and
it's
ridiculous
pathetic.
as it all could have been, like, as much as it doesn't make sense, make the transporter turn you into real, sentient stuff, freaking animals. But when you make it a dream, you just told the fucking audience they wasted an hour of their time.
Yeah, none of this actually happened. It was all just in your head.
I did think the helmsman looked a little better. The buzz cut lady, she looked a little better as a
puppet. Oh, Side Shave? Yeah, Side Shave looked a little bit better as a puppet than as a real human being.
Except here's the thing. She's actually pretty in real life, and she's super based. She's straight and she's married. She may look a little bit, like that Dutch thing that blocks a river.
Oh, interesting.
But she's kind of irritated sometimes. Like, she didn't like to keep her hair shaved all the time. But I read about, I'm pretty sure nobody likes her. Kurtzman hates her. And I'm pretty sure the reason they do is because she's essentially, I'm not saying she's conservative, but she's at least centrist. She's not a crazy leftist. So now,
yeah, I mean, anything to the right of Marx now is considered to be, pretty repugnant to the people on the left.
It's crazy, but they don't even realize, what they're asking for. Every time people have voted in a government that they can't vote out of, they've regretted it. We have hundreds of thousands of people that ran from a system like that to come here. It's just we have an ignorant population of young people that don't know anything. And of course, it sounds like a good idea to them, getting free stuff.
Yep.
I only hope the checks and balances in our system are strong enough to repel this.
None of them having ever taken an economics class and learned a damn thing, because one of the very first things you learn when you learn economics is that there is no such thing as a free lunch. That means very simply that one way or another, somebody's paying for it. And if you're getting free healthcare, well, it's not free. Somebody has to pay for the syringe. Yeah. Somebody has to pay for the bandages. Somebody has to pay for the offices. Somebody has to pay for the doctor's time. Somebody has to pay for all those things. And so who's paying for it? How is it? Well, you're getting it at no cost. So who's paying for it? Well, in a socialized medicine system, you are paying for it. You're paying for it in the fact that you're giving half of your salary or more in some cases as much as 60, 70% of what you earn on every dollar, euro, whatever it is, you're giving it to the government so that they can then fund all of those services. But not just your services. You're also paying to fund a whole bunch of other people's services who don't pay taxes, who don't put money into that system.
How many people have you heard on April say, I don't pay taxes, I got money back? I'm like, you sweet summer child.
I got money back. No, that's not how it works.
Well, quickly, I want to say I was walking on the street and I saw this in a window, and I don't know why I took a picture of it, but I thought it was kind of funny.
Because you thought of Tom. And,
I actually did think of Tom, and in any case, it seemed like something old school. It feels like it was something old. It doesn't look like something new.
Yeah, Say No to Drugs. That's like that's the 90s, the 80s.
Right, Say Yes to Pizza. It felt very kind of like retro, so I don't know. I looked at it, and it seems like it's been in that window for a while, and the color is gone.
Yeah, the faded colors looks 80s too.
Right. All like, I almost wanted to get it. I'm like, this is like kind of like this, but I just kept walking.
So you can pick up a retro reprint of this poster for relatively cheap, $19 So
nice.
Yeah, I would say if you actually have if there's a vintage one, I'm sure it's rather more expensive. But yeah, there you can pick up a retro one from quite a few different places.
It's still kind of neat. I the art style too, everything about it.
Oh, it's class. I love that. That was the heyday of the Turtles.
Yeah, and look at the little gangsta like standing next to him. Like,
I don't even know what that other Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle. Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle is a guy that he was killed. He was a rapper that was killed in some. I think somebody was robbing him. And they came to his house and they robbed him and they killed him or something like that. I could be wrong. I'm not saying anything. I don't really know. I think from what I recall, I don't think it's a situation that it was his own doing. I think that it was an unlucky situation that he found himself in. That maybe somebody thought that he may have money and wanted to rob him or something like that. I don't really know. He did have a large following. I won't lie to you. I don't really know his music. It's not, like I said, the more old school hip hop I'm still a bit cool with, but some later stuff it's not really my thing, but I could be wrong, and I hope I'm not confusing him with somebody else. But if he was just a guy that was randomly killed, or somebody came and robbed him and killed him, I don't think he deserved that. I think that's the case. I could be wrong. Somebody will Google it.
No,
And turn out that I'm talking about somebody
no,
else. I don't know.
he was shot 10 times in the parking lot of his store Marathon Closing in Park Mesa Heights, LA. The perpetrator also kicked in his head, and several others were wounded. It was horrible. They got the guy, and it looks like he went to prison.
I mean, what
His
really
name was Holder.
what causes somebody to want to shoot some guy 10 times and kick his head in? I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah, so let's see.
Possibly
motivated by
his dad used to shoot bullets off of his head, shoot apples off his head with bullets.
No, it looks like some kind of personal resentment there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably some beef.
Yeah.
And they solved it that way. I'm sorry, is that like a hookah sitting in front of the Say No to Drugs?
Sure. Let me see.
It does. Yeah, it's a water pipe. Yep. Huh. I guess that's the.
Isn't that the opposite of saying no to drugs, or it's not a bong?
We call that irony. No, that's the opposite.
That is kind of funny.
It's not a tobacco hookah, because you can tell by the inlet pipe,
by the bowl.
This
looks like it's for weed. So strange. It's just a weird collection of things to put Nipsey Hussle together with the no drugs and the bong. Is a very, very strange combination of things to put in there.
Yeah, when I saw the picture of him, it reminded. Have you heard anything about? So none of this is happening. Zero evidence. But apparently a bunch of social media people are trying to create this idea that certain people in this country are being lynched again, being hung from trees. Like, have you heard? Oh, okay. Well, that's why I said, like a.
Yeah, find interesting ways around whatever you're trying to say.
Well, I really thought like David Lynch was an okay thing to say. So that,
okay.
I did mention the.
Did you say David Lynch? I didn't hear you say David Lynch.
I tried to talk around the other part, but yes, I did say the Liam Neeson word descriptor and a tree. So, it's just a weird thing that seems to be their particular agenda now. I don't know what's going on with that, but they're trying to create the impression that people all over the country are not safe, when in reality, there's just been a small cluster of people, not people choosing to maybe take
delete
early
themselves.
Retirement.
To delete themselves.
Yeah, early retirement. Well, I even think that sounds too direct. Yes. So there were a few people, 7 of them, that took early retirement in a method that involved, arbor-like methods.
Mm-hmm.
And there's evidence in their investigation, and one of them is even on video. But they're trying to present this like it was involuntary.
I did actually see an article, something where they made it seem like somebody this, and then you read the fine print, and it's not even what the article presented. But I think it was one of those CNNs that they really wanted to lobby this idea, to plant this seed in people's mind, because they're hoping that you'll just look at the headline and you won't even read the actual thing. That's what CNN has been doing for years. They're like, maybe they won't read it, and we'll just write some nonsense here, and it'll stick. And they've been doing that for a long time.
But it kind of like, it seems very coordinated. Everybody's engaging in the dialogue at the same time. It makes me wonder, like, what they're getting ready for. Whenever I see there's
midterms and stuff. They probably want to. I feel like they're always looking for the next Floyd festival.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they had one in England. They're trying to turn that into, Floyd UK Fest. And
yes.
Oh, did you see the latest development on that today?
No, I don't think so.
What happened? No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with the guy in the Princeton guy who was let go because of plagiarism and whatnot, and then decided to delete himself.
Oh, another one.
No.
No, that's the same one.
Oh,
So
okay.
today, the academic who exposed his plagiarism, Nathan Kofnas, was suspended by his university, Ghent University.
Huh.
So this is the guy who exposed plagiarism.
Yeah.
That should be applauded.
Right, as in protecting the reputation of the academy.
Exactly.
Defending
Yes.
academia. Yeah.
The decision to suspend him and most likely terminate his employ at Ghent University was made by Rector Petra de Sutter, a former leader of the Green Party. He says, I'm under investigation by my university for discriminating against Arde by reporting the activity that was not acceptable, right?
Really showing their hand there, though, right?
So I've got a surprise for you. I want you to give me I'll give you one guess what minority Petra de Sutter is a member of.
The guy who wrote the article?
The one that suspended that guy from Ghent University.
Oh, I'm gonna guess maybe he has roots from Africa.
No. She has a dick.
Oh, of course. So she's basically
allegedly
head of Ghent University has said, who is the person that is responsible for the suspension, has also said that they are not willing to travel to the United States because they don't believe that they would be allowed to return and would be arrested in the United States because that is not a chick.
Well, Professor, to be fair, you said minority, and to be fair, it seems like everyone
oppressed group.
Yeah.
I should have said oppressed group.
Like there's more of that. Yeah. So, well, right. So basically what they're saying is that Arde was a protected class and you're not allowed to challenge them on any wrongdoing whatsoever.
Exactly. You are not allowed for any reason to challenge their, in anything they do.
Well, the UK is crazy. And speaking of the UK, how's that for a segue, Bryce?
Wonderful.
Because it looks
good we're segueing out of this. Let's head over to Meghan and Harry or whatever.
It looks like somebody's going back to the UK, even though they swore on the Bible that they could not go back because it was too toxic and too painful and too racist and too evil. And we even have receipts. And now, Professor, Price or you'll see I posted a receipt to your DMs.
Right. I'm going to share it right now.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay. I'm sharing it.
I'm ultimately glad that's going to be UK's problem now. Like, we don't care.
Okay. Prince Harry, lying sack of crap, said this last year. He and Meghan Markle are your problem again, UK. Yay, good riddance. And that's from Mr. Phobos. And let's see what
the only time that I've come back to the UK is sadly for funerals or court cases, with the odd charitable function where I can in between that. I put myself at risk for that, but I will continue on with a life of public service. So I will always support the charities and the people that mean so much to me. I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. The only time that I've come back to the UK is sadly for funerals or court cases.
It repeated itself.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Quinn says this is the monarchy preparing for the divorce. Maybe.
Yeah, I actually I thought that because there's a rumor he has a girlfriend that he's in love.
Yeah, this doesn't. So I've always, I've long since said I really want to know what it is that he's into that she does so well. Because clearly she's got some kind of hold over him, and it can only be like some very, very specific kink or something that she's, satisfying for him. Because I when the two of them are together, I'm sorry, I do not see any emotional connection between the two of them
there's
whatsoever. None. I mean, they interact with each other, and it's like coworkers.
Yeah, but
I'm serious.
He already wrote a book about his frozen, deformed, malformed penis. So what could possibly be more embarrassing than the stuff he's already voluntarily talked about?
I don't know. I'm just saying she does something for him that the other ladies don't, and she does it really, really well.
Or she used to.
Or she used to anyway.
Or she used to. We don't know if she's still doing that.
She doesn't look like she does much for anybody these days. I really got to tell you, they can't keep any working staff. All their celebrity friends no longer talk to them. They don't get invited to anywhere. She's like Blake Lively, right? They had to, what was the thing in New York? Was it the Fashion Week? They had to invite themselves because they didn't get an invitation. Or what was the big party in Manhattan last month? I don't super keep up with this stuff, so it's hard to tell, but it was like $1,000 ticket. They didn't get invited this time. Her and Blake, they had to go, and they didn't go with their men. They both went solo and tried to act like they belonged there. It was funny. Maybe it was the Met Gala. I can't.
It might have been. I don't remember that. Here is the Vanity Fair article specifically that talks about this that was published earlier. Yesterday. Prince William and Kate Middleton are said to be very concerned about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's return to Britain and the prospect of a rival court. On Wednesday, New York Times reported that Duke and Duchess of Sussex would be moving back to Britain with their children, Archie and Lilibet. The shocking decision comes 6 years after they stepped away from their royal duties and relocated to Montecito, California, amid allegations of racism and hostility from the press and the monarchy. So yeah, they've, repeatedly they have said, no, we're coming to the U.S. We're staying in the U.S. California is where our home will be. That's where we're. And you're right. There's been numerous reports that basically they are practically persona non grata. Like nobody wants to be around them. Nobody wants to work with them. Nobody wants to talk to them. No, they're not invited to parties. People aren't showing up for theirs. They're basically getting the cold shoulder from everyone in Hollywood now. And so, why they moved back to the UK? Well, they've burned all their bridges here in California.
Yeah, but he just lost a big court case and he owes the UK government $65 million in attorney's fees and court costs.
What did he lose?
He sued the Daily Mail for defamation, and in those kind of suits, the loser has to pay the court costs. And
it depends. Yeah, it's the laws in the UK are a little bit different here. So there's some states here have that loser pays basically, right? And so he lost that court case, and so he has to cover all of their court fees.
How much is it? Is it really 65 million?
Yeah.
That sounds like a very pricey court case.
Well, he always is a huge drain on the taxpayer. Every time he goes there, he demands, this huge entourage of security people. Even though he'll do the walk of shame home alone, like in the middle of the night, he still maintains that he needs this full-on Navy SEAL security detail. So, but apparently after he spent a night out on the town allegedly partying, he's okay to wander around on his own.
Who said he had a different girlfriend? Who's saying this?
I was embarrassed. I watched some of the royal gossip columnist people. Hold on, look, I'll get a name. Hold on. I know Maureen Callahan is one of the columnists for the Daily Wire, and she mentioned that. And let's see.
Trev Tunar, I wasn't yawning. I'm just having a snack while Ista is talking.
Oh, okay. So it looks like um, they haven't. So the total court bill is basically 45.8 million, but they do have an insurance policy that covers some of that. The remaining 18 million pounds is split equally among the claimants. So actually, I heard this wrong. So Prince Harry only demands his share is only 2.6 million pounds, but he doesn't even have that. I heard they're broke. But
Well, I mean, all of their production deals and everything that they made, they basically have delivered on none of them, and they're not getting any new deals because they've essentially reneged on everything else they did, and so now no one's going to give them any more money, right?
yeah,
They weren't worth the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and they didn't do anything either. And they Meghan and Harry they got a business divorce last year where they split their personal brands, which used to be, I guess, entangled together. It must have been a race to see who's dragging the other one down quicker. Okay, so
Yeah.
So you think the next step is they move to the UK and then they get a divorce?
Well, if she suspects he's trying to go for the kids, there's no way she would take them and go there. So I kind of wonder what the cover story is. I think the problem with Meghan is that she's no longer treated like a princess like she wanted to be, right? She just can't call up the French Laundry and get a table on demand. Whereas if they go back to England, her children are still princesses and princes, and she'll get the royal treatment by osmosis, even if she's not a working royal. So I think the appeal would be to get some of her social cachet back. So there's two girlfriends in Harry's past. One is Chelsea Davy, who dated him from 04 to 11, and Cressida Bonus, who dated him from 2012 to 2014. And the claim is that he never really got over one of them. So, there's, these are just gossip columnist rumors, but some of those official royal gossipy people, they tend to get it right more often than not. So I don't know, but you're right. You never get the sense of any affection between those two. Whenever they show them together, it really does look like this is strictly a business arrangement. You'll see her push him out of the way to, maneuver herself to center stage or whatever. Like really horrible. And you can watch his body language experts and everything else, but I'm just not buying it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I try not to waste too much time on it, but because I just despise them so much, I do try to keep.
I waste no time on it. I find all of the stuff that has to do with the rules. I had a friend years ago who was, not just an Anglophile. I think I'm a bit of an Anglophile. I enjoy a lot of, British entertainment and British culture and stuff. But the stuff with the royals, I don't remember what the name for that is, but these people who are just, crazy about the royals and everything, and, followed everything that happened with them and all the drama. And like, I find it repugnant. I do not care one bit about the royal family. I couldn't care less. The royal family, since the Queen passed, they are falling apart because Charles is frankly he's a cuck, but there's and then the rest is even worse going after that. So it's just gonna it's gonna fall apart. But these two, I cannot stand them. They are weirdos. They are the most these people who are so entitled to I've got, all of this stuff. And then they came over there. Oh, they're going to make all these deals. They've got this huge production deal with Netflix, whatever. And with Spotify, you know what came of their big production deal with Spotify?
Podcast.
12 episodes of a podcast.
Yeah, that nobody listened to. So check this out. Remember, Princess Di once made a comment that Charles wasn't strong enough to be king. If you look at the favorability ratings, so Catherine has a 74 to 76% favorability amongst the UK. Same with Prince William; they're quite beloved in it, and I think William make a decent king. Princess Anne a 70%. Charles is vacillating somewhere around 50%. It can go up to 62 and as low as 31. Prince Edward only has 53% positive. Sophie is 51. Camilla is 43 approval rating, but she used to be the most hated woman, in
She
all
did.
of me, and now she's up
Yeah.
to 33.
Yeah, people hated her guts. Yeah.
Prince Harry has a 33% approval rating, and Meghan Markle 22. She is an 80-20 issue amongst the Brits.
People hate her guts.
Yeah, the only royal lower than Meghan is Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they had this huge multi-year deal with Netflix and everything. They made a 6-part documentary about themselves.
Right.
They made a 7-part documentary about influential leaders in the world. They made a documentary series about the competitors who were preparing for Prince Harry's Invictus Games.
Do you remember her founder one? The thing, I'm a founder.
They made a documentary series about polo.
Yeah, that one tanked.
And then they made her lifestyle show that was supposed to be like, oh, see what an amazing, normal person I am. And I'm cooking and gardening and I'm, doing all of this stuff. And everyone thought it was just the most ridiculous garbage.
Yeah. Was that the founder one?
It might be, yeah.
Because she's so, as a founder, she gets some woman who's a makeup guru, started a big company. She's like, from one founder to another, how do you always succeed so magnificently? That's a tough question, but a fair one. She just, and her, what is it? With Love from Meghan, the show that absolutely tanked.
Yeah, that's the lifestyle. That's the lifestyle series where she's cooking and gardening and everything. Look, I'm a normal person.
And it seems like their bedside manner isn't that good either. Meaning, I think that there were rumors that Netflix CEO, who later, when he was asked, he's like, no, they're great. But rumor had it that behind the scenes, he was really annoyed at them and kind of sick of them.
Okay, here's the name of that podcast. And just think of the ego that a person would name the Confessions of a Female Founder. That's the real name of the podcast.
Yeah.
Sounds crappy. By the way, I want to quickly ask a request. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube and you came here from maybe a different platform, you maybe came from X or from another channel, another YouTube channel that I did a post somewhere, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because this is the channel where we do the live streams. So it's really good to be subscribed to it. So if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe now. In addition to that, also, if you're on Rumble, platform for freedom of speech, you should be signing up for the platform and make sure you follow us. But I also wanted to ask, if you're on YouTube and you happen to have a Rumble account, I would greatly appreciate it if you could go to Rumble for a second, put a comment in the chat, and then, as far as I'm concerned, you can go about your business, because any kind of interaction on the Rumble platform really helps us every month. So if you can go and even drop, say hello, and that's it, that would be doing me a great favor, and it would be awesome if you could do that. No pressure, no, not pressuring anybody. Just do it immediately. But I don't want to press.
Yeah, if you go to Rumble, you might as well sign up, because then you can get you can get gift memberships, and it will remember your preferences and stuff like that. I mean,
sure.
I remember when I just would go to YouTube and I didn't have an account or anything, but it's hard to even remember back that long, So it's the same thing. It doesn't cost anything to sign up, and that way you can receive gifts. It'll keep track of your.
But more importantly, the chat. If you could write a comment in the chat, that would be great. That would be super and super appreciated. So yeah, freedom cost $1.05. Yep, that's what Pablo Hidalgo said about me once.
Really?
He really did. Because he thought I was price of. Somebody said, asked him, "What do you think of Price of Reason?" And he said he costs $1.05.
Does he know who you are? Oh, they know because they watch everybody who criticizes Star
No,
Wars.
he absolutely knew who I was because
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
some posts. Back in the day, I had some posts, and some of it ended up in like mainstream media and stuff. And I think that's what caused me to get shadow banned all the time on Twitter. I think, allegedly, I'm going to be very careful here. I want to say 100%. I don't have proof that I could go to court with to say that they did that, but I will say that there are coincidences that sure are big coincidences that would at least suggest that maybe that could have been a possible scenario. And amidst some things that were happening, somebody specifically asked him about me. So he said, "What do you think about Price of Reason?" And then he answered, "He's worth $1.05." Unfortunately, I think that I think that I screenshotted it back in the day, but I don't know that I would have to find it because he later went and he started deleting all his tweets and doing all this weird crap. So very hard to find it. I know that it existed and that really did happen, but I don't know how to find him. Pablo Hidalgo in general has been very quiet. I don't even know whatever happened to him. Is he still at Lucasfilm? What does he do?
Yeah, he's still there, but I think even before Mando, it was after the huge bomb that was the diarrhea of dysentery. A lot of those people, just got really quiet on social media. I think that's when it all started to fall apart for Kennedy, and some of her strongest supporters within the company just all kind of got really quiet. He's still the guy that writes those silly books, like the history of the rebellion.
Yeah, nonsense.
Yeah, which he knows nothing about. Like,
Right.
stupid.
He just makes up fake lore and publishes a book.
He's such a hustler. He just hustled his way into that position and been sitting there. Nobody could move him for a real long time.
Well, what DEI gets you into, it's almost impossible to get you out of. Like, they had to wait until Victoria Alonso made a boo-boo in order to come up with an excuse.
Right, but the thing is that Pablo Hidalgo is like he predates any kind of DEI. He snuck in just being a hustler that he is. See, he took advantage early on of something like he saw that there were people online looking for for information about Star Wars, and he started positioning himself as the guy that he knows everything, and he posts all this stuff online. He's posting like an encyclopedia with all this information, and anytime you want to think about Star Wars, you go see what he put together. Who knows what he put together and what he knew and what he didn't know, but he kind of found that position and charmed his way into the circles of like George Lucas or whatever, and they never got rid of him. So it was much before. You could say that later on, maybe because of DEI stuff, they didn't want to let him go. But honestly, he's been there for a very long time. It predates any kind of propaganda stuff in the industry, predates everything. He was just early. He was, in my opinion, a hustler, and he hustled his way in there. He hustled his way in there, in my opinion, with very little. That's the part that always stuns me, that he had very little to work with, and I don't even know how he positioned himself the way he did, but he did do that.
Yeah, I really don't know as much about his history. He got my attention when he started attacking people on Twitter, back when Twitter was not quite as easy a place to navigate. And like, didn't he like ridicule Star Wars theory or something for, something happened in one of the earlier movies? And
no, I'll tell you what happened. What happened was that everybody was already like they turned against Kathleen Kennedy. Everybody hated the sequels and everything was crap. And then The Mandalorian came out, and that was more of a Favreau and Filoni baby initially, that it was more Bob Iger that pushed for that. And I think that the reason why he pushed for it's not even that Bob Iger is such a genius or anything. It's just that they wanted to launch that Disney Plus thing, and they understood that if Kathleen Kennedy does another one of her weird, shitty things, that platform is not going to launch well. So Jon Favreau was kind of this golden boy that, first of all, he kind of laid the groundwork initially for, that whole shared universe with the MCU. He made Iron Man. He helped conceive the whole MCU, which later became the Avengers and all that other stuff. That's why even until Avengers Endgame, I think you see his name as an executive producer, and they probably cut him a check. He must have a good amount of money. Even if he doesn't do anything in those later movies, they still have to give him something. So,
Yeah.
and with those kind of numbers that those movies made, I'm sure that something wasn't $1. Like, he got something. So he's sort of had a good rapport. He's kind of the golden boy. I think that Iger kind of went to this is just research that I've done over the years. He's the one. He went to Jon Favreau and said, "Listen, you did this stupid Lion King thing that made money for us because he made the first live action one, which was shitty, but it made money for them." He's like, "You're good at making money here. You had some other thing, maybe was it Tarzan? I don't even fucking know." But Jungle Book, I don't know what he did. In any case, he produced a few things that made money for Bob Iger, and he just said, "Listen, can you take this thing and just do anything, any kind of show, do anything with this Star Wars?" And and I think that Jon Favreau said, "Sure, yeah, I think I can do it." Now, in order to make this deal seem like it was Kathleen Kennedy's idea, and this is strange, I don't know if you've ever seen an interview, when supposedly Kathleen Kennedy, when she wanted Jon Favreau, she wanted him to do The Mandalorian. You know where she supposedly had a meeting with him? She invited him to Kennedy Marshall, which is weird. Why would she invite him to Kennedy Marshall? She doesn't work at Kennedy Marshall. But the reason why I think that she brought him there is that she wanted to show him, look, see Kennedy Marshall. You're not talking to some bum here. I'm like a veteran in this industry. Like, even without Lucasfilm, look at my achievements. That's what I was thinking to him, because that's where supposedly they had the meeting. And then I don't know if she initially suggested Filoni as sort of planting her guy in there, and that was kind of part of the compromise, or if Bob Iger, I don't, or supposedly Favreau knew Filoni because he once did a voice for like Rebels or one of those I don't know what, Clone Wars, I don't know what. He did a character there, so supposedly he knew him. I don't know how the whole thing. They said they'd let Filoni work with him. Filoni will bring some lore and whatever. Favreau will do the Mandalorian. And I don't know that Kathleen Kennedy knew how successful it'll be, but I don't get the impression that she was very excited about the whole way everything went down. And then the Mandalorian comes out, huge hit. Then you start seeing like her trying to take ownership over everything. Meanwhile, Bob Iger himself is trying to take ownership, and they're both basically trying to screw each other over who goes to the newspapers and media and takes like pictures with Baby Yoda and says like, "I did this. This is my baby. This is my baby." So they started doing all this thing, between them. And I think that the more this Mandalorian did well, the more Kennedy wanted to go in there and start meddling with the show. But Favreau still had kind of like the support of Iger, and nobody wanted to mess with it because it was making money. And then they had that second season at the end of it with Luke Skywalker showing up. Now, Luke Skywalker showing up and kicking ass, even if it was digital and it was pretty shitty, it still excited some fans. And it was probably the most positive goodwill and anything that happened to Star Wars for many years when Luke Skywalker appeared. There were rumors, and I don't know if it's true, that Kennedy didn't even want Luke Skywalker to appear, that she found out about it and she was trying to make it not happen, but she couldn't somehow override it. I don't know if Favreau talked to Iger, whatever happened, they went through with Luke Skywalker coming back. And once that happened and everybody was like, this is the biggest hype for Star Wars in years, the thing like, the servers of Disney Plus crashed finally, and people are like, Favreau and Filoni finally did it. And nobody's crediting, Kathleen Kennedy for this. So after all of this happened, the people that are in her circles were apparently upset, which includes Pablo Hidalgo. So Pablo Hidalgo saw that there was some kind of thread online where, or you saw the video and people were talking about it, how Star Wars Theory watched Luke Skywalker return and he shed a tear because he did a live reaction watching the episode, and he was watching it live and he shed a tear seeing Luke Skywalker.
That.
So, and once he did that, Pablo Hidalgo got upset. And Pablo Hidalgo got upset because, like, he's, Kennedy loyalist. It's like, normally, and this is just shows you how absurd it is. Usually, if you work for Lucasfilm released an episode of a show that's Star Wars that you're supposed to be like an expert on, and you love Star Wars, and Luke Skywalker returns, and everybody's excited, and a guy with millions of subscribers, the biggest channel for Star Wars, is sitting there like weeping, saying this is the greatest day of his life. Usually, you shut the fuck up and say thank you. This is what we needed. We needed that kind of support for our company. This is the only case, and it reminds me of like politics sometimes with like, you know, the TDS or whatever you want to call it, where the guy like went out and he starts like, you know, getting upset at the guy that was excited by the product that his company produced. Now, normally, if I were the CEO, whether it's Disney or anything, that I'm like the top authority, and I have an asshole going to make fun of a guy that has 3 million followers that loves Star Wars and is excited to watch the episode, and somebody's making fun of him, that man would be out in the street in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? But no, they didn't fire him. I thought that they would fire him. At the end, what happened is that he had to sort of half-assed apologize, and they actually listed it in Variety or something that he had to say something or do something, and they let it slide. And like, to me, that is the biggest shitty thing that you could say about Lucasfilm, that it has people on the inside that are bitter that other people were happy that they showed Luke Skywalker in a digital fake Luke Skywalker in a positive light for 20 seconds. This is an issue for them.
Yeah, not just that, but isn't Star Wars Theory a cancer survivor, and he attributes his survival to Star Wars? That's what got him through all
I just realized I've been muted this whole time. So yeah, he specifically he talks about why he has such a connection to Star Wars and the, you know, the films and everything, the books. This helped him through his cancer treatment and eventual survival of cancer. So he's openly talked about how emotional his connection is to Star Wars. And this specifically, like he said, like, I got really emotional. This franchise means a lot to me. This character of Luke Skywalker means a lot to me. To see him come back for the first time in decades, right? To see him return, like, that was incredibly moving for me to see the return of Luke Skywalker. And so, yes, I cried, and and then people were making fun of him all over the place for being performative, right? They're like, well, you know, if you're going to cry watching a show or whatever, that's fine, but don't recreate it for all your viewers or whatever.
So tone
bullshit stuff like that. And then, there was this comment from Pablo Hidalgo: emotions are not for sharing.
You know, so unlike Leslie Headland, Star Wars really did save his life. Remember?
Yeah.
Leslie did some fake weeping in Star Wars saved my life. All the Star Wars, like, they didn't make fun of her when she said it.
Yep. But she's not Star Wars Theory.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Pablo Hidalgo tried to, like, apologize for it or whatever, but then eventually just started deleting a bunch of his posts and stuff after people were really tearing into him. For one, there were some other posts, people really tearing into him, being like, your job is to fact check this bullcrap, and you let people put yo mama jokes in a Star Wars movie, okay? You Star Wars Theory would shred you.
Oh yeah. So Hidalgo, he really was a self-appointed Star Wars guru. He wrote a couple of comics and did some role-playing games, and that's how, Lucas used to have this weird way of hiring people in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like a computer developer, he gets a call, George Interview wants to interview Lucas, and he thinks it's his friends, like, punking him. Then he goes over there, and Lucas has some like 3 weird questions, nothing to do with coding. It's like, you're hired. Like, he would do that all the time. I'm sure that's how Filoni got his job. And probably this guy, look how Kathleen Kennedy got hired. Like, nobody's vetting, and it wasn't really serious. So he got lucky when he got on. But listen, this guy, he has like 3 million subs, right? Star Wars Theory. He is the single most important brand ambassador to your entire IP, and you treat him like shit. And the reason Mandalorian, and remember, Favreau launched the freaking MCU. He's got pedigree, and the reason why the Mandalorian started off as good as it did is Kathleen Kennedy was trying to do that Children of Blood and Boners movie. She was consumed, so all this stuff went around. She didn't pay attention. Then once it got big, she had to step back and stamp her name on everything and act like it was her idea all along. But and that's why, once she pays attention to something, that's when it all goes to shit. But
she's not a creative. She's doesn't have creative bone in her body.
Yeah, so the reason why the first season was as good as it did is that it totally went under her radar. And the same with Andor. Had she actually paid attention to this stuff, we wouldn't have gotten what we got.
Sure enough. Yeah, that Children of Blood and Bone thing, that's coming. I think that's coming next year. It was produced by somebody else, right? Because I think KK did.
Yeah.
They eventually had to pass on it. But this getting created, and I believe my I will be reposting my original Twitter comment, which was 100% Rotten Tomatoes score and sub $100 million box office incoming.
Yeah, she failed to get it off the ground, but she spent years trying to launch it, which was good for fans of the other stuff that was going on, because it did, between that and Indiana Jones, it drew all her attention away from everything else, which enabled actual creatives to exercise a little bit of creativity.
Okay. I don't know if this is something that I did a long time ago, one of those part of my investigation. So I think I had a little bit of Pablo Hidalgo. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I haven't watched this in like a year or two, so I don't really know. Probably 2 years.
We love watching old price videos. This is great.
My opinion, it would also significantly affect the trajectory of the company until this very day. That hire was the lesser-known Pablo Hidalgo. Hidalgo, an aspiring writer and animator, got his foot in the door at Lucasfilm in 1997 as an independent contractor by helping them publish their first Star Wars encyclopedia. You see, before the days of Google, Hidalgo had a good memory, and he was able to compile a bunch of Star Wars facts that he'd seen in Lucas's movies into an index, which he then posted online. By the year 2000, Hidalgo would become a full-time employee at Lucasfilm, where he was appointed the manager of all of their online content, a concept that was relatively new at the time. In addition to his online work, over the next decade, Hidalgo would continue to cement his position at Lucasfilm as a so-called expert of lore, one that people would apparently consult with while working on various Lucasfilm Star Wars projects. While it seems clear to me that Hidalgo was never considered by George Lucas as a real creative talent like Dave Filoni, what Hidalgo lacked in artistic talent, he seemingly made up for in self-promotion skills and political maneuvering within the company. In October 2012, in an unexpected move, George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney for $4 billion, a decision which he would later regret. In an act of sheer fucking hubris, I sincerely believe that Lucas thought that he was indispensable when he agreed to the sale, that even after purchasing his company, Disney wouldn't dare make the Star Wars sequel trilogy without his input, and that he could count on Kathleen Kennedy's years of loyalty and friendship to look out for his best interests. At the end of the day, the exact opposite would happen, as Disney and Kennedy, together, would remove Lucas from his own sequel trilogy and make it entirely without his input. Upon getting rid of Lucas, Kennedy, who was now sole president of Lucasfilm, seemingly became more interested in trendy social agendas, specifically radical feminism. Many believe that Kennedy had considered Star Wars as less of a beloved IP and more of a social justice platform to promote her preferred ideologies. At the time, these same ideologies had also been growing popular within the corridors of her parent company, Disney, and at exclusive cocktail parties in Los Angeles. Under Kennedy's leadership, I believe that while Dave Filoni had to somehow find a way to adapt to her agenda, Pablo Hidalgo was able to spot an opportunity. By embracing Kennedy's agenda enthusiastically, it seemed that Hidalgo was able to significantly raise his profile within the company. So much so that when Kennedy put together the newly formed Lucasfilm Story Group, headed by Kiri Hart, Pablo Hidalgo, who had never written any noteworthy stories, was given a seat at the table. Now, if you're wondering, what does the Lucasfilm Story Group even do? I'm quite sure that if you asked Kennedy, she would tell you that they ensure that there's an overall cohesive story that covers the entire Star Wars franchise and keeps it unified, or some nonsense like that. I say nonsense because with so many canonical errors with all of the Star Wars properties during her era, this group is either incompetent or doesn't actually do what Lucasfilm officially claims. Based on a video that was once foolishly uploaded by Lucasfilm themselves, it appears that this so-called story group sits around with a chalkboard and talks about agendas they want inserted into their content. The agendas are then relayed to the content makers, who are then responsible for implementing them into the story. In 2015, even though Kathleen Kennedy lacked the creative vision to run Star Wars and director J.J. Abrams was a hack, The Force Awakens was a huge box office success. In many ways, though, this success was misleading because at the time, Star Wars was the biggest IP in the world. Fan goodwill was at an all-time high, and audiences were craving a new installment of the franchise. In a nutshell, even if the movie had been Yoda sitting on his toilet telling stories for 2 hours, it would have also likely been a hit. Even Disney CEO Bob Iger had also seemed blinded by The Force Awakens' $2 billion box office haul. So much so that he didn't realize that Kennedy didn't have a cohesive plan for the sequel trilogy, which would eventually become a major issue. Regardless, Kennedy would become a media darling as the entire industry would crown her as the most powerful woman in Hollywood. It was also because of this early success that I think Kennedy had been given carte blanche to make the sequel to Force Awakens any way she pleased. This meant that if she wanted to dial up her ideological messaging from a 5 to a 10, nobody would be able to stop her, especially as the Me Too movement was brewing in the background. I assume that in Kennedy's mind, after playing fourth fiddle to the likes of Lucas and Spielberg her whole career, she was finally getting the credit that she deserved. She was the captain now, and naturally, everybody around her probably told her that she was the best. Everybody except for one man, who I suspect knew that she was out of her depth and where it was all heading: George Lucas himself. In a 2015 interview after his removal from the sequel trilogy, Lucas likened Disney and by extension Kennedy to, the type of people that appeared in the movie Roots as owners? Sorry, I'm trying to keep this video PG. He would of course walk back this statement, likely due to legal reasons, and say that he misspoke and that Disney and Kathleen Kennedy were doing a heck of a job. For the next few years, the overall public perception of Kennedy and Lucasfilm was mostly positive, but in 2017, this sentiment would come to a screeching halt. The Last Jedi, which at the time had been one of the most highly anticipated films of all time, ended up being extremely divisive and alienating many longtime Star Wars fans. While The Force Awakens had teased the return of Luke Skywalker in the film's final shot, The Last Jedi, its direct sequel, was supposed to have been Luke's triumphant return to the franchise. Regardless of how you feel about The Last Jedi, there are 4 facts about it that cannot be disputed. Number 1. It made significantly less money than its predecessor in the Skywalker saga in ticket sales, merch sales, and physical media sales, even though it boasted the return of the franchise's most popular and iconic character. Number 2. It was a divisive movie that didn't see the type of repeat viewings that its predecessor did. Number 3. Most fans that didn't like the movie didn't like the way Luke Skywalker was portrayed in it. Number 4. A significant amount of fans felt that making Luke Skywalker a weak coward that abandons his friends and family was an agenda-driven decision rather than a creative one. This had been the first time since Kathleen Kennedy was named president where there was a real public backlash targeted specifically at her. A growing community of online fans had questioned Kennedy's ability to lead the Star Wars brand, as well as her apparent conversion of the franchise from beloved sci-fi IP into her own personal social justice platform. But in addition to the growing fan backlash, Kathleen Kennedy had an additional problem brewing in the background. Her next Star Wars anthology movie, Solo, was already almost done filming by directors Chris Lord and Phil Miller when she abruptly fired them and replaced them with veteran director Ron Howard, who had to reshoot most of the movie. This poor management was not only costly, it once again highlighted Kennedy's weakness as the creative leader of Star Wars. In my opinion, at this point, if Kathleen Kennedy were a man, she would have been fired. However, with Disney CEO Bob Iger considering a run for president at the time and the rise of the Me Too movement, firing the recently crowned most powerful woman in Hollywood wouldn't have seemed so progressive. So with Lady Luck in her corner, Kennedy probably figured that she'd just have to control the media narrative and then find a way to silence her detractors, and then all would be well. Just 11 days after the release of The Last Jedi, something seemingly minor happened that flew below most people's radar. In fact, though, in my opinion, this event would mark the beginning of a new era at Lucasfilm, an era of media manipulation and the discrediting of any legitimate criticism towards Lucasfilm whatsoever, all with the intent of protecting Kennedy's status and reputation. It was on December 26th that Screen Rant had posted an article discussing a reported leak from inside Lucasfilm that not only were Lucasfilm uneasy about the fan backlash towards The Last Jedi, Solo wasn't shaping up to be a good movie either, and it would likely bomb at the box office. Up until that moment, thinking that a Star Wars movie, even an arguably unnecessary anthology one, was going to be a major box office failure was inconceivable. This was also one of the first times where fan backlash towards The Last Jedi was even mentioned in the Access media, but immediately after the article was posted, something strange happened. An update was added before the actual article itself, clarifying that a news source, a seemingly more reliable source, had debunked this vicious rumor. According to this new and seemingly credible source, Solo was looking great, and Lucasfilm were confident that it was going to be a huge box office success. And while Screen Rant itself wasn't much of a publication, the source of this correction was a man called Jordan Maison of the very much lesser-known publication Cinelinx. Looking at it now, in retrospect, it's pretty clear that the rumor was 100% true. So who was Jordan Maison? Where did he come from? Is it possible that somebody from Lucasfilm had requested his help in squashing this rumor? At the time, nobody gave it much thought, but the real surprise came upon the release of the Solo movie. You see, one of Lucasfilm's licensing deals for the movie Solo was with Topps Trading Cards, and can you guess who would contribute his very own artwork for these official Star Wars trading cards? That's right, the very much lesser-known reporter, Jordan Maison, who also fancies himself as an artist. How do I know this? Much like Jermaine Lucier, he did a victory lap on Twitter. A closer look into Jordan Maison showed that he had contributed artwork to other Star Wars Topps collections over the years, while at the same time contributing several articles for StarWars.com, the official Star Wars website owned and operated by Lucasfilm. Although perhaps not a full-time Lucasfilm employee, to me it appears that Maison had operated as some type of independent contractor throughout the years, while moonlighting as a seemingly objective, but very much lesser-known, news publication. Now, some of you may be thinking, maybe he did all of this work for Lucasfilm for free, and in any case, even if he was getting paid, why does this even matter? And these are legitimate thoughts to have for sure, but this wouldn't be the last time we'd run into Jordan Maison. Now let's jump forward in time to February 2021. After Gina Carano's firing in a high-profile interview with Ben Shapiro at the Daily Wire, Carano stated that while she felt bullied for her views while working at Lucasfilm, she had no ill feelings towards her Mandalorian co-star, Pedro Pascal. In my opinion, this interview was a signal to Lucasfilm that they may have thought that they could fire Carano with no consequences, but she was ready and willing to put up a fight. At the time of this potentially damaging interview for Lucasfilm, another interesting event occurred. Jordan Maison used a quote from his interview in order to mock Carano on Twitter with a meme suggesting that Pascal was already in the process of blocking her on social media. Knowing that Maison had been working with Lucasfilm in some capacity for years, I thought that not only was his tweet in poor taste, it also proved that perhaps Gina was right about feeling bullied by her colleagues. Also, the timing of Maison's tweet, which saw a lot of traction, seemed odd as Gina's interview presented them in a negative light. Surely they would want to try to swiftly diminish or dismiss her claims, and perhaps the people in their social network would be looped in on their sentiments. I then tweeted my thoughts about Jordan Maison's behavior and went about my day. Within a few hours, a series of events had unfolded that I myself hadn't even anticipated. Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers, a YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of followers, saw my tweet and uploaded a video where he had mentioned it.
Price of Reason is doing a good job of consolidating a lot of this information. These are the people at Lucasfilm that I've been telling you about for years. It is a left-wing echo chamber. That's all it is. And they are the legit bullies. They will run you out of a job. They will get you fired, and then they will shame you after the fact.
Over 68,000 people watched this video, and I suppose that this was brought to Jordan Maison's attention. That is likely why Maison then screenshotted my tweet and made some dismissing remarks about it, implying that he didn't actually have a working relationship with Lucasfilm. This irritated me, as in my tweet I had suggested that he was a Lucasfilm writer and stooge. Given what I had already known about him, it appeared to be a rather accurate description. In order to try and challenge his new narrative, I went to the StarWars.com website, owned and operated by Lucasfilm, and entered his name. Sure enough, he was listed on the website with his own profile, suggesting that he was considered a member of their team, at least in some capacity. If he had nothing to do with them, why would his profile and bio appear there? I then posted a screenshot of Jordan Maison's official StarWars.com bio, and can you guess what happened? The next time I went to Maison's Twitter profile, I was blocked. And the next time I searched for Maison on the official StarWars.com website owned and operated by Lucasfilm, he was gone, along with his bio. Now let's jump forward to present day. Remember Pablo Hidalgo, the Lucasfilm executive? While I couldn't see the publicly available interactions of his private Twitter account, I could still see what he was doing with a public one, as this was publicly available data. And once I did, I had another eureka moment. The public Pablo Hidalgo account was interacting with none other than Jordan Maison. Now some of you may be wondering, if this is true, it doesn't mean anything, especially since this tool isn't scientific and not very reliable. They may not even know each other. It doesn't prove anything at all, and it may surprise you to learn that I wholeheartedly agree. This doesn't mean anything at all. But you know what does? I looked through Jordan Maison's list of people he was following, and lo and behold, just like Germain Lussier, Jordan Maison was following both Pablo Hidalgo's public account and private by invite-only account, the one he would need to be vetted and approved to see by invite only from Pablo Hidalgo himself. You see, the tool that I used is in fact generally unreliable, aside from one exception. If you can separately verify followers of a private by invite-only account, this is actually the only case where we could find a connection that appears to be more than just circumstantial. To me, this suggests that if nothing else, Hidalgo knew exactly who they were when he invited them. So let's take a look at the picture that we have. Pablo Hidalgo is a top executive at Lucasfilm, a member of the story group that Kathleen Kennedy had assembled in 2013. Both Germain Lussier and Jordan Maison follow his private by invite-only account. Both are so-called reporters, and both have seemingly stepped in to push a Lucasfilm-friendly media narrative on separate occasions. Both, at minimum, have seemingly been getting special access to Lucasfilm personnel and perks that may or may not be financially beneficial to them. I called out both on Twitter on their special relationship with Lucasfilm. They both then blocked me. Both were searchable on StarWars.com, owned and operated by Lucasfilm. Both disappeared from the StarWars.com search engine after I had mentioned their ties to Lucasfilm on Twitter. And some people would still argue that this is all a coincidence. And I suppose that could be true, but there is one final bit of information that could be relevant to the conversation. Pablo Hidalgo may be Story Group now, but do you know what project he helped launch and was involved in for years? That's right, the official StarWars.com website, owned and operated by Lucasfilm. Even if Pablo Hidalgo didn't have anything to do with the official Star Wars site in 2021, as a Lucasfilm executive with such strong ties to it, wouldn't he at least know who to contact to scrub a few entries? Could Pablo Hidalgo have requested that Germain Lussier and Jordan Maison be removed from the site after my inquiries? If so, why? In our next episode, we will look to answer these questions and also to expand our search and learn more about Lucasfilm's social network and how they operate. And if this topic interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel and clicking on that wonderful notification bell. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thank you, and good day.
I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos.
Vroom. Nobody appreciates it, but that's probably my finest work to date. Like, I did such an investigation, and I never did the third. You know why? I didn't do the third one. I'm going to be honest, and I kind of regret it. I spent so much on the first and second episode, and there's supposed to be at least a third one that kind of brings it all home. But I was very disappointed because this was something that I expected the people in our circles, I'm not going to say names and things like that they would have helped like share it and help get it out there because it was such a thorough reporting. And people that knew that I did a good job and bothered to watch it didn't even lift a finger to try to help. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not going to mention names. Doesn't really matter now. But I feel like I was really even today, I'm not some big shot at all, but in that time, I was significantly less, you know, whatever I am today, I was significantly less than that. And even today, it's, I don't know that it's all that much, but then it was even less than that, if that makes any sense. So nobody helped me, and I put so much work into it. And at
Well,
the end, I'm like,
Jeremy
okay, well,
did.
nobody cares.
Jeremy did, but I want you to put up a poll right now in the chat. Who demands more old school Price puppet style video investigation videos? Because between that one and the one at the convention that we watched with Robot Head a while ago, like I want more of that. And
well, I wish I could do more.
I feel
Maybe
like
at some
chat
point
agrees
I'll
with me.
revisit it, but I don't know. I will say this is that I thought that whole investigation with Pablo Hidalgo and those guys was pretty brilliant. Like, I don't say that often about it. Like, yeah, I'll do reviews and whatever, and they're fine. But this thing that I did here and what I did was really thorough investigating. It wasn't some weird bullshit. Like, I worked very hard on this.
Yeah, no, that was
and Lucasfilm is and Disney are disgustingly incestuous, just like the rest of Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Gino Carano legal team never contacted. Like, you were smart enough to get screen captures for when they changed the website. This is a very good
I did get
investigative.
screen captures. I did get some stuff, and I put it in there. I mean, those things that you see are things that I captured at the time. Some of these files is stuff that I had on a hard drive, and it's a really long story. But I don't even know. Some of these things may have survived. Some of these things may not have survived. Some of it did, but I will say that at the time it was relevant, and I did try to relay it. I tried to get it over to bring it to Gina's attention. I tried a lot of different things. Regardless of even if people watch my video, I thought it would interest them. And at the end, I don't want to be an asshole. Okay, I feel like sometimes when somebody does something good, other people, instead of like supporting that person, may suddenly. I don't want to use the word get jealous, but sometimes people can be assholes, and I'll leave it at that. I feel like there's a few people that probably could have helped me more than they did in that situation. It wasn't just one of those videos that somebody's sitting around and rambling in their living room. Like, I really put work into that. That was a thorough investigation. I had 2 parts, and I was going to do the 3rd part, and they took the wind out of my sail. Like, the fact that people that are, let's say, some people that are important watched it, but then didn't do anything, was they don't owe that to me, but it was a shitty thing anyways, if that makes sense. Nobody owes you anything, in this in these circles. Nobody owes you anything. I still feel like they could have done more.
Yeah, I agree, and I get that, right? Because I'm starting my own channel. You reach out to your friends, you ask for some reposts, a little bit of press. It takes 1 second to hit that repost button, but I don't expect it from anybody. But some people do and some people don't. And you sort of learn to remember, who's actually helping you out, even if it's, it's not too much effort, but you always repost my stuff. So I remember that. Thank you.
Right. I mean, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that I'm with you. Sometimes I would have a video that I would do, and maybe I'd share it with a few people and say like, "Oh, you may want to check it out." I don't think that I was ever so aggressive with it, but sometimes maybe I'd ask or whatever, and maybe they will and maybe they won't. But I wouldn't be offended if they won't. This was not one of those times. This was the one time that I said, "This is actually important to me. Can you help with this? This is important." It's important beyond even me. I think this is very important because I think the information should get out there. And yeah, I mean, you learn in those moments. Some people are actually cool and some people aren't. And have nothing bad to say about Jeremy. Jeremy, by the way, was just paying attention to what I was doing. I didn't say anything to him, by the way. I didn't reach out to him. I didn't say anything. I didn't say, "Oh, can you do this? Can you do that?" He noticed it and he did whatever he did. So just I'm giving him kudos. He didn't, he did well, but he did it on his own. I didn't do anything. But there were a few people that I did expect more of, that I had like a certain rapport with, and I feel like they disappointed me at the time. But it is what it is. That's why we don't have the part 3, the grand finale.
I think it was excellent work, and the fact is, you know who that reminded me of? Another social media investigator who I believe doesn't get near enough credit for the work he does. Reminds me a
Master of
little
the
bit Master
TDS.
of the TDS. Yes, exactly.
Master of the TDS is a friend of the channel. He's been here on the stream from time to time. I believe he lurks here but doesn't say anything. But yeah, Master of the TDS is a good guy. Once actually, we kind of I won't call it a joint investigation, but I brought something to his attention that caused him to investigate something, and it ended up being something interesting. So then in his video, he actually, I think that I did a little bit of an audio cameo in that video investigation. So you hear me for a second. It was specifically for the video because he's mentioning that I was talking to him and I brought something to his attention. It was very nice, and he's a nice guy. I like him. I like the guy.
We got a raid from Gaming with ABF.
Nice. Thank you,
Thanks,
ABF. That's very
ABF,
nice of you.
Appreciate it. Yep. And we got another super chat. I think we just had one more subject to talk about tonight, buddy. You said something about Sons of Anarchy. But yeah, let's get the super chat out of the way.
All right, we'll do that.
I think we've got 2 actually from Kamchi Kamchi.
Okay, I'm finding it right now, and I'm going to show it. Yeah, and I'll get to the Sons of Anarchy. Okay, let me first of all do the super chats. That's the most important thing. And this is from Kamchi Kamchi. I'm going to share this right now. The thing with Sons of Anarchy is just some kind of desperation, and I'll explain it in a second. It's doing something that I really dislike. Okay, so we have this thing here. Thank you so much, ABF. Very, very kind of you. This is very, very nice. Okay, so we have, and of course, if you feel like it, sub to this channel and like and do subs and whatever it is that people like to do. So we have 2 super chats. One is, I feel sorry for Star Wars Theory. It was inevitable, bitter battle that should never cross the line, as they wanted evil cult more than the fans were that monster KK. Well, useless to spread info and finding proof. All I can do is telling the pattern and changes through the year. I think companies bribe YouTube to allegedly. I love YouTube, and YouTube does a fantastic job. I love what they do, and they're the best. But yes, that's thank you for the whole thing. And yeah, Alec Baldwin's finger, that's ABF. ABF's a good guy. I sometimes stream with him on Irwin's channel on Nerd Wars, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, if you're new to this channel and you happen to be a captive audience and you feel like as part of your duty as a captive audience, you feel like subscribing, I would be very excited. So make sure to do that. And thank you also thank you to the chat. I know you don't like hearing the helium version of me. Imagine that back in the day, people, that's the only version they knew. Until I started... What?
Oh, sorry. We got one more from Kamchi Kamchi too.
Another one? Oh, okay.
Yep.
See, back in the day, until I started doing live streams, anybody that heard me talk only heard me this way. They didn't know I have a different voice. They actually thought this was my voice. I guess. I don't really know what they thought. I mean, I had like 3 viewers, so I think they were, I don't know that they were thinking much of anything. Maybe they were thinking, why are we watching this video? Hold on. Okay. Is this the thing that I wanted, or where is that thing?
Super chat?
Okay, I think
there's
it's this
one more.
Okay, this one. Remember before Elon bought Twitter and Biden timed the Democrats hide a lot of information, so won't be surprised they hid your channel. Even gotten worse. The silly thing is that a lot of the times during those years they would hide a lot of political stuff they didn't like. This was 100% happening. It's shameful that they did that, and they did that all the time. But the thing that annoyed me is that I had a Twitter account where I didn't curse. I made a point of like keeping the language clean. I would just give like analysis on Hollywood, and yeah, there was some sharp criticism of Lucasfilm, but I did it in a way that nobody could claim that I crossed the line. I wasn't just sitting there saying, "Oh, this lady's a bitch" or whatever it is. Wasn't doing any of that. I was just stating facts and explaining what was going on. And then suddenly, at some point, I kept getting shadow banned. And to think that a company potentially, allegedly, and I'm putting all the disclaimers here, could just call them and say, "Hey, we don't like this guy. Can you make it so that we don't see his tweets, and if the people don't see his tweets anymore?" And that somehow somebody from within that system would say, "Yeah, let's make that happen." Allegedly, all for some weird puppet with an account that he talks about pop culture is insanity, in my opinion. Like, it sounds insane when I say it to you now, but there is at least somewhat of a chance that something like that may or may not have happened, and I'm very careful here. But yeah, it's very annoying. So thank you
Well,
for the 5, 5, and 5 Kamchi. It's like kimchi, but it's Kamchi.
it should be a badge of honor to know that they know who the fuck you are, man. That's awesome.
Right. They absolutely did, and I believe they did, because they there's no other explanation for it. So they did know. And I will say this. Today, you have a situation where all these people, like, these kind of, whether it's Gary or Drink or all these people, or people from, have also a lot more followers on Twitter than me, and they post something and there's like 5,000 here and 10,000 there. Even, I mean, I'm to tell you the truth, one of the biggest tweets I've seen in recent years was Professor R2. He had like a Elon Musk level tweet recently with
Oh yeah, like 2.5 million. You know what you did
It
here?
was like it was 47,000. It wasn't.
No, but it was
Well,
47,000 likes. That's like
yeah,
insanity.
you got like
That-
3 million impressions or something.
Yeah.
the impressions is like, I've gotten stuff with some impressions before, not that much, but maybe like 2 million or something like that. But the thing is that it's not just the impressions. The fact that like he had 50,000 likes is really, really impressive. That is like, that is I'm telling you, that's like an Elon Musk level tweet. And not just the standard, like, oh, this is what SpaceX is doing now. It's like when he says something that's really important to him, that's the kind of interaction he gets. So Professor R2, that was like a grand slam home run what he did.
Yeah,
But,
the most likes I ever got was 1,000. Do you remember the Coldplay concert where they outed that CEO? And
yeah.
I said, listen, as human resources head, you fire people for this, you hypocritical biatch or something like that. And I think that's gotten the most likes of anything I ever tweeted. So
I see. I mean,
I wanted to point out you did something here tonight that I really never knew before, which is like when Pablo Hidalgo tweeted that, I never understood why he was being such a dick about it. Everybody knew it was sort of mean spirited and dickish. I didn't know why, but the context you put it in, he had to attack anything that relates to the success of ideas that Kathleen Kennedy didn't have or anything she goes against. And since she didn't want Luke, that's why I never knew, like, why would he do such a dickhead thing? And now we know, because they're anti-Luke Skywalker over there at Lucasfilm. So thank you.
Right. There's another thing that I don't remember where this tweet is, and this happened sometime later. There was at one point where they had Chapek with the hostage situation where he had to say that he was sorry to the LG community or whatever it is. Once there was something there with that bill, that don't say whatever bill, they went out and they said, like, they were posting online that, or there was something that they wrote online, that they all went to watch The Last Jedi in order to get hyped before they went out to protest. And it's like, why are these weird activists excited to watch The Last Jedi? And that's the movie that hypes them to go, do protest against, cis men or whatever it is that they have, because that's the movie that gives them that feeling. Do you understand? They basically outed themselves, no pun intended, that that movie symbolizes to them what it means, quote unquote, to own the chuds. And that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a company that had a multi-billion-dollar franchise that was just printing money, and a bunch of activists, bitter, shitty activists sitting there, allegedly, and just thinking, how do we own the chuds? And they did it. I mean, they actually went and ruined the franchise just so they can say that they did that, even if it meant flushing billions down the toilet.
Well,
and yeah, although they're all connected and they have their weird cliques and circles, and then you see these articles. I was showing you an example, and I also showed in another video that Germain Lucier guy, that you later look and you see these articles and you think, oh, this must be a legitimate article. Well, it turns out that it's not so. In my opinion, not so legitimate at all. It's not some reporter just writing something. It's more of an insider writing whatever he's told, but in a way that feels over the top, like not even, it almost feels shameless.
Yeah, makes sense.
In any case, quickly, before I read the thing here, I'll read the Rumble people. Phantom Monk, Folsom Lockdown, Alonzo Musk, God Bless 5697, some late guy, Long Island 90, who sent some some very generous Rumble rants. DJ Ronnie G, and then Comics Division. Wow, I didn't even know Comics Division was here. Thank you.
We got a raid from Comics Division. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's very kind of you. Thank you, sir. Elizabeth Quince, Entropy Nomad, Bad Boy Bill, Argentum, Tiny Toonster, Istophobos, Taki Toaster 01, J Law Bronco. And thank you to all of you. Before we do the YouTube, I'll just quickly say that Sons of Anarchy was a show that did very well. And a lot of these shows that you had a show that did well, they're always looking for ways to revive and to make more money. Now, obviously, in this show, most of the people that were in this show, main characters, spoiler, are pretty much, a lot of them are dead. Let's put it this way.
So Grandsons of Anarchy, is that what we're talking?
No. So what they were doing is, it's not a grandson. What they wanted to do is, they're now making, quote unquote, a meta. You know how Freddy's the Freddy's New Nightmare, whatever that thing is called.
Okay. I almost thought you were going to say we were going to do Daughters of Anarchy. Was going to be
no, we're not doing Daughters. They're going to be sort of fictional versions of themselves at a convention, but then bad things happen and they have to deal with it. And I read it and I kind of just rolled my eyes. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't like all this shit. I never liked the meta thing. I don't like meta at all. I don't like that suddenly you watched a movie or a series of movies and it was great, or a show that you liked, and now they're making a new show where like the actors are sort of playing themselves, trying to sort of be like those characters you like, but not. And I didn't like it when Wes Craven did it. I don't like it when anybody else does it. I think it's a shitty idea, and if your show is over and nobody gives a fuck about you or about the show, then find something else to do. Sorry, I know that was mean, but you know what I mean. I still think those guys can probably go to conventions and sign stuff and do whatever. There's probably an audience for that. Not to mention that I think that Sons of Anarchy, it had some good things, especially in the earlier seasons. But as the seasons moved forward, I think that it took some missteps. It ended all right. It was okay. But I don't know. It stops short. It's not as good as Breaking Bad. You don't like, I don't think it's highly regarded like a Breaking Bad. I think it had its audience, and it's definitely a good show. One of the better shows of the past, I don't know how many years, but it's not like that kind of top 3 material or anything like that.
That makes sense.
So that's what I have to say, that I don't like this shit. And I'm not interested in this meta, behind the scenes movie of them playing themselves and being in a weird situation. Don't need any of that shit. So that's my opinion.
Not interested.
Not interested. Professor, and obviously if you're on YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed, now's the time. You can do it right now.
Yep. I'll do YouTube. We have another super chat on YouTube, so be pulling that up while I do this.
Okay.
Our YouTube list seems to be a little short today, so I think maybe that's not working like it should. But
Whatever you
Let's
have,
see
we'll say
the
some
top
names.
fans here. We have Bunser, Georgia Cyrex, Kira Runte, Piku, Tomahawk 511, Trevtune Art, Ilord Corey, Gavin Unit, IF Nerdic, Istaphobos, Justin Channels, Marla Sharondoff, Jason Webster, Mexican Iron Man, Joe Darkness, Andrew Broadbent, Douglas Nutt, Bad Bill, Big Sir River, Eclay Thomason, Strugun, Yitis, Mary White, and Piggy in a onesie. But I know there's some in there. I know, especially like Kamchi was not in that list. Alec Baldwin's Finger, Ejector Curtain, Angry Sparrow, Waylamo 3. So I mean, there was a bunch that did not get on that list. So yeah, sorry. If for some reason the little top fans list is not working properly this evening. So, yeah, thanks for being here, though. We did get some fan funding. We got, of course, Mary White gave 20 Price of Reason gift memberships as well as a super chat and as a member herself. A gift from Mexican Iron Man. Great to see you, Mike. The Dead Man, RMT 38, Piggy in a onesie, and then several super chats from Kamchi, including the one you're showing, and then one more that you're not showing.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me find it. We appreciate all of this.
Or I can just share it. It's fine.
You can share it. It's fine. It's also good. Yeah.
All right, go ahead and read the one you got up there, and I'll show you the other one.
Did I not? You can share, and we can look at whatever I didn't say.
Yeah, here it is. All right, so yeah, there's the two we got left.
Okay, we have. I know if you see current state U.S., it's showing color. Back then, I knew how bad video game censorship was, but Last Jedi broke me to dive into this rabbit hole. I swore not to enter again since DC Comics logic. No regrets.
Yep.
Yep. And thank you for the super chat.
Thank
you so
thank
much.
you again.
And thank you to everybody that hung out with us tonight. And of course, to Professor R2, who hosts this show with me, and to our VIP panel member, VIP Night Owler, Istaphobos.
Thank you.
And yeah, you should check out Ista's channel. Doing very well. And your videos have been getting really good responses.
Despite all my efforts to sabotage his channel, it just has not worked.
Yeah, man, I'm quite surprised. So, like, the one that's really been doing well is the one about villains and Jean Grey from X-Men. So it was weird when we were talking. I suddenly felt not so comfortable, and I wasn't sure why. And then I think my little desk fan just died, and the air stopped blowing on me. It's still middle of the night, still hot as balls up here. So I'm like, that's a bummer.
Well, I shared the thing, and let me share your Rumble, and then we'll be on our way. Any last final words, or whatever from anybody? Now's the time.
Not that I know.
Okay, now I'm sharing the Rumble. Okay. Is Phantom Monk here? I don't know if he's still here. Phantom Monk, do you want to do a raid? You can just raid somebody even random that we've never raided, and something vanilla or something. We just need that one raid. Phantom Monk? I don't know where he is.
Still there. Phantom Monk's still around.
Okay. Some music, yeah. Do some music. Something random like that, but just something that you think that we've never done before. If it's possible. Let's see, music. Let's see if I can find something interesting. Let's do Matt Savina. How about this one? Did you find Matt Savina? Let's see. This one seems pleasant enough.
Okay, cool. Lemon
Phantom Monk, do you see it?
325.
What is good in life is to Phobos.
Okay. So
crush your enemies, to see them bow down before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women.
Some of the best line delivery that Schwarzenegger has ever done. Hey, Price of Reason, invite Thomas Connors Jr. to a future stream. Oh, I'm sure we'll see him here.
Whenever Tom's around,
I mean, usually, like, generally speaking, when he's around or he suddenly stops by, he's definitely a welcome guest. So,
and
I'm sure we'll see him here sometime.
Yes, and don't forget to check out the Meghan Markle podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, available where podcasts are available near you. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we did the thing and as rated. Yeah. Okay. We rated this guy, and now I think we can be on our way. Right.
All right. Sounds
all right.
Good.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
We'll see you here on what day is it today? Today, Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see you on Tuesday at 11:45 p.m. Eastern on the night out.
I'm sure we'll be talking about lanterns.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.